Should I test it? Hello, welcome. I have a haircut. Tell me whether you love it or hate it in the comments. I'm just kidding. I see we have a few people joining the stream. Hello, hello. Yes, there's going to be a tournament tonight. I'm going to put it in the link. Hold on 1 second. Let me get that link going for people. Hello. Hello, all gamers, not just Parker gamers. Or hi, Parker, hi, gamers. Never mind, I read that incorrectly. Let's see. Our tournament is going to start in... Oh, we have 62 players. Holy cow. We're cooking. Our tournament's going to start in about 15 minutes. I'm sharing the link. I've got an echo. An echo on my audio or an echo on my music? Oh, I do have an echo. Hold on. How about now? Is that better? Thank you for the heads up on that. I just wanted to make sure you really, really heard me. It should be better now. Okay, that is better. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Adding the link to the Limitless tournament. I'm going to pin it in the chat in case anyone wants that. 60 players today. It's going to be a doozy, okay? If you've never played in a tournament, this is the one to join. No pressure. Let me get... I'm making an announcement to all that the tournament's going to start soon, so... bear with me. Alright, and I have most of this already ready. It's like a pre-made template thingy. So I should be able to give you my full focus here in just a second. Also tonight, we might be playing a very, very undercooked draft game. So yeah. Hopefully everyone's having a good time. Let's see. Alright, let's see. Can I focus on... Good practice for the GCF this weekend? Yeah, I'm gonna need to practice for the GCF, because I think I'm in the... Well, I can't say anything yet. Can't say anything about that quite yet. Sorry, didn't mean to get everyone's attention there. I'm still getting everything ready. Haley is laying in my lap sleeping, and she just farted, so you know it's gonna be an interesting night. Let's see. Somebody to sign up. Okay, cool. Cool. Oh wait, I put the wrong YouTube link, I think. Wrong link to YouTube. Always the wrong link with me. Hold on, let's see. Let's get this. Let's get started in here. Hold on. You on YouTube? There we go. There's the link. Why does it say can Barbicle win a tournament? It's not Barbicle. Is this the right one? Getting everything lined up. That is the wrong link. Why? Hold on. We are grabbing the correct link. Thank you everyone for your patience. Streaming on multiple sites makes things a little trickier. Yeah, it says can Barbicle win a tournament. That's not what we're streaming today. It's the YouTube's gone rogue from my OBS. Let's see. And the answer is very clearly no based on how the last tournament went. Barbicle's not what. Okay, we're going back to YouTube Studio. We're adjusting this video because it is not correct currently. Let's go live. It is not can Mega Barbicle win a tournament. I don't know who told you that, YouTube. Okay, boom. And I also gave it its own little thumbnail that was really dumb. There we go. Hold on, let's see. Okay, we're almost done. It is not Barbicle. Do not let anyone convince you otherwise. It is this. Let's see. Alright, cool. We're back. Okay. I should have just held out a little bit longer. Our tournament's going to start in about 12 minutes. If you're seeing in the chat that you want to sign... Why can't I not talk today? Ugh. If you still want to join, there's still time to join. Let's see, can I get something good from the Recruit Ranch? We're going to do a quick little... Maybe a little friendly game on the rank ladder. Every season, I always try and get to champion or tier, like at the very end. I get to like top 700 and then I like fall so hard. We're gonna grab a Zoroark. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see how the GCF ends up going. Let's see, where are we at on the 1 day left? We have fallen quite far. Because, yeah, we went to top 700 and I haven't played in like 5 days, but it ain't looking good. This is probably Barbicle tier, right? Like, if you're ranked season, or we're only Master Ball 2, top 800 or 8,000. We can Barbicle up. Let's see. Alright, already. Okay, so this is Samurott plus Orthworm. Venusaur is very annoying for Barb. It's all the Talonflames are quick guard. Don't let them convince you otherwise. We do have Intimidate on the Incineroar, which is kind of nice. I'm kind of cool with... Wait, I have a mouse hold on this team? Since when? Can I... How do I click... Okay. What is this? How did this get on the team? Okay. Weird mouse hold with Rain Dance. Maybe this is the place you were in no attacks. Always look at what you're locking in before you lock it in. I don't know. I feel like Intimidate plus Barb just looked really strong. I also have a Whimsicott. Okay, this is clearly like a bunch of Mons that are not normally on this team together. So, yeah. What about just Whims plus Weavile? Like, that seems pretty strong into basically everything that isn't Samurott. And then Barbicle would blow up Samurott if we get Tailwind up. And let's do this. We'll put him in the middle and Barbicle for the endgame. I don't know why we have a weird mouse hold with no attacks or a Whimsicott on this Zoroark team, but we're making it work. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of cool with just clicking protect, and I'm trying to debate what I think the bigger threat here is, and I think it's probably Mousehold. Like, I don't know. Mousehold's not that big of a threat into Barbicle. I can just do triple act. Like, I have Fake Out, but, like, part of me is like, I just want to remove this Mousehold, because Mousehold can kind of remove everything. I think the idea here is that this player's got, like, a Friend Guard Venusaur. I don't know what item is on my Whimsicott. I should probably be checking that. This is clearly, like, a weird team that kind of is just coming together now. Alright, we're going to triple Axel. 1. I swear this Weavile, like, can't land a move to save its life. But it can dodge! Oh, look at that! Weavile, we'll take it, okay? Why do you say Barbarical like that? Good question. I don't have an answer for you. I guess the only answer I have is that that's how I've always said it, so I keep saying it that way. All right, I guess we can lock Mousehold into Encore. All right, we can lock Mousehold into Population Bomb and then bring in Zoroark. Or maybe we lock in Sludge Bomb. And we're going to go for... Oh, wait. If I go for a knockoff, it'll knock... Well, actually, this Mousehold might not even have the Wide Lens item. Well, it connected 3 times that time. Alright. I thought we were going to dodge it again. Okay, Sludge Bomb. We go down. Barbaricle's going to be up under Tailwind, plus Zoroark. And we're going to have the classic mind game of which one is which. Everyone's favorite. Alright, there's a Barbaricle. Oh. I guess they came out in the wrong order. We're making it happen. Alright, so we're gonna Icy Wind in case anyone comes in and tries to get a bit greedy. I'm pretty sure we encored the Venusaur. Hold on, let me just check that real quick. Yes, it's been encored, so it can only use Sludge Bomb, which is fine. I think that we're pretty cool to just click Mega Evolve for the stats plus Shell Smash. That seems fine. Icy Wind would pick up the Mousehold from here. I don't know if I should be locking into Icy Wind as my move, but I'm also kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to let anything get away with having higher speed than me. And Garchomp comes in, which is like the perfect Pokemon to Icy Wind, so we're extra good. Tournament's going to start in about 5 minutes. Okay. Barbarical gets to come in and become Super Barbarical. It doesn't do enough to finish off, which means that I have to use Rock Slide plus Icy Wind. If it is Friend Guard Mousehold, if Mousehold went down, I could get away with just using Icy Wind, but it unfortunately did not. So we're going to click Icy Wind yet again, and we're just going to Rock Slide until the cows come home, and it's looking quite favorable for us, because I don't know how they get out of the situation. We just have to land all of our moves. Alright, Follow Me comes out. That's fine. We were never going for just you anyway. Rock Slide comes out, wind it up, knock them down, and now single target Icy Wind should be enough. Yeah, this is my last tournament pre-GCF. I have to work for the rest of the week, and I'm barely squeezing this one in. All day 2 if I'm lucky. Hopefully you get lucky. Alright. Notably, Barbarical is kind of Mega Venusaur food. So we kind of have to hope that they do not have Talonflame as their 4th Pokemon. It's Samurai. That's also pretty bad. I think I think it's just Icy Wind plus Rock Slide. Just let it rock. And we hope we get flinches, and we hope that the Samurott just goes down. Alright, Sucker Punch is kind of the worst possible move they could have had there. Alright, Rock Slide. Flinch this Venusaur, please. Please, I've been so good. Please. No, that's bad. Okay, well, that's Barbarical Gaming. Oh, it's a crit too. It wouldn't have mattered. My defenses were down. I mean, it might have mattered, but I don't think it mattered. Alrighty, well, we're playing games. Okay, the tournament's gonna start in like 3 minutes. Alright, let's see. And is Barbarical Gaming back for this tournament? Oh no, no, no. Barbarical, as you might have seen, it's just kind of like click Shell Smash and pray everything goes okay. And most of the time it doesn't go okay. So no, Barbarical, he's been put out to pasture. His time is basically just a casual Laddermon now. Let's see. I have to jump into the stream manager so I can see all the little thingies that are going on in chat. Why do you oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let's also pin the tournament link in YouTube. There we go. Can I pin it here? It will not let me. Would he work with the normal redirect slot like Mouse and Cinny? He lowers his defense, so he okay, he's a real Pokemon, but he's also like kind of not. Like if you're setting things up, you might as well be setting up like a Delphox. He has got no immunities. He does change his type. I think realistically the best version of him is one that you just put on a team to make him like a big close combat guy. And just take big swings every single turn. Because honestly, like, Shell Smash Close Combat pretty much one-shots everything that doesn't resist. I mean, just Close Combat basically can one-shot everything that doesn't resist it. And then if you're Shell Smashed, it's just taking out everything. One Earthquake in Barbarical is on a poster. Yeah. The nice thing about Barbarical, though, is since he's slower before he Mega Evolves, is you get to get hit by the Earthquake, survive it, like, depending on... I mean, I think you'd survive Life Orb, Garchomp. Let me do the damage calc really quick. Oop. Let me do the damage calc. See if you'll survive. I mean, if you have Incineroar out and you Intimidate him, you will, but let's see if you survive just a normal one. Max Speed Life Orb. Barbarical, Mega Barbarical. If you have... Okay. If they're Life Orb Jolly and you have nothing in your defenses, which we do, we have a good amount in our defenses, it is a 50% chance for them to KO you if you're Mega Barbarical. Do I have my Barbarical on this? Let's see. My Barbarical has... It's not, like, super bulky, but he's got bulk. Okay. Also, we didn't have, like, the normal team. Like, I don't know what this Mousehold and what's his face are doing. Okay, so we're 9 HP, 4 defense. That's not a ton, actually. I thought it was more. It's an 18% chance for Stomping Tantrum to KO you. It's a 6% chance for Earthquake to KO you if they're Life Orb Garchomp. So, I mean, you don't want to take 85% of your health on a spread move, but yeah. If they're intimidated, even if they're adamant, they're never KOing you, so... Well, I guess outside of a crit, obviously. Also, he should not be Sniper. It runs Incin too, so it's not the worst. Yeah, it's just, you know what, it's a funny team. And that's all it has to be at the end of the day. The tournament is starting now. It is 7:30, so let me do a quick check to make sure we are good, and make sure there's not like 70 people that haven't checked in. We do have quite a few people that have not checked in yet. We have 54 team lists out of the 71, and only 42 people, or only 43 people have checked in. Let's see. Let's see. Make sure to check in. We have 29 checked in. All right. Yeah, the number just went up a little bit. So I'm going to give people about 3 minutes. At 7:33, we'll start it off. All right, submenu, achievements. Let's see. I think it's always at the top, right? Yeah. I get the flying type affinity ticket. My infamous Grimmsnarl is back for this tournament. Oh boy. Is it, like, how infamous are we talking? All right. Give me more VP. Thank you very much. So I have to delete these. Delete. And delete. And delete. Okay, cool, cool. Can I not delete this? What is... Delete. Sure, competition reward. You can hang out. That's fine. Let's see. Okay, it is 7:32. We're gonna give people till 7:33, so another like 60 seconds. We did have one more person check in, so making sure all of our check-ins are good. Hello, welcome. Welcome, Lewis. We are chilling. We are going to host a tournament, and I'm going to be casting matches and giving constructive criticism and just talking about the games. Also, we got a Galate emoji on Twitch. Very cool. Love me some Galate. Let's see. Oh, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Kanjin47. Very cool. It is now 7:33, so we are going to start our tournament. I just found out that Mawaile's special attack set is 6-7, which, when it's using an adamant nature, of course it is. A Mawile has 6-7 energy. It seems like a 6-7 kid. I don't know. Alright, we have today, as of right now, some people might join late, we have 22 matches, actually 23 because one of them has a bye. So we have a big tournament happening. It's at least 44 people. A lot of people might have missed check-in and they might be coming later. We had 70 people signed up. So let's announce to our good people that tournament round 1 is up. And here I was hoping to lurk. Nah, JK, looking forward to some quality champions. This is my first tournament. I'm excited. I'm glad. Hey, it means a lot that we can share your first tournament experience. Just so that people are aware of what's going on, I'm going to switch over and I'm going to show you the stream. Let's see. Also, is my microphone doubled again? I don't think so. Can't. Okay, cool. Basically, oh, I didn't click the button over here. There we go. Okay, it's this one. And we are going to make sure that this button, where's the button? All right. Ta-da. Okay, this is our tournament sheet. We're going to be tracking it. If you're on Twitch, I pinned it in the comments. We have all these people are here today. You're going to, if you're playing in our tournament, make sure you go to dashboard and you'll go to your pairings. I currently am not playing in this tournament, so I'm not going to have a pairing, but I am going to hop in. I'm going to use a random number generator to tell me where to go, so I'm going to hide it over here. Let's see. We are going to go to between 1 and 22, round number 2. That's Shiny Macaroni versus Krish U7. Alright, cool. If you're in our tournament, I'm going to randomly be hopping to, let's see. Let's see, scroll up to the top of the page. Okay, let's see, the code, I got it. We're going to switch back over and we're going to watch their games. Also, I'm going to work on getting you guys an overlay so we can keep track of games when people are coming in and out of things. I see there's been a lot of chats. I will be messaging back in just a second. I just have to make sure that we are on top of things. So, let's see. Private battles. Enter a room. 8579-4439. Okay. Okay, we're going to Jackaroni's room. Okay, so let's see. Let's read the chat. Wonder if we'll see anything weird today. We all in PokePals, you will always see something weird. I guarantee it. What did we have last week? I think we had something weird in top 8 last week. Even let's see. We had in top 8 last week. We had Vileplume, which I mean is not super weird anymore, but it is. I mean, it's pretty weird. Mega Chandelure, like it's always fun stuff. My team is ready for draft match, only on Showdown, unfortunately. Just finished cooking and don't have some of my mons in the game yet. No worries, we'll play, if there's time between games, we'll play our draft set, Austin. Or Ditto. I'm playing a Raichu X round 1, that's kind of sick. That is kind of sick. That is super fun. Let's see. Hoping to see some Ceruledge today. I'm personally been enjoying that mon quite a bit lately. Well, I can tell you the meta. If you're in the tournament link, you can actually click metagame analysis and see how many Pokemon of each type there are. So a lot of the one Pokemon, like exclusively one Pokemon, usually you'll see something crazy. There's a Ceruledge, there's an Annihilate, there's an Altaria, we got Sceptile, Jolteon, Scrafty. We got Golden Go, Heracross, Dragla-Age. Oh, you know what? I did comment to someone on YouTube today. They messaged on my tier list and they're like, Dragla-Age is good. And I was like, if you get top 8 in my tournament, I will personally say I was wrong in the announcement and say Dragla-Age is good. Or Dragalge. Let's see. Okay, we're in Shiny Macaroni's room. Let's see. Top middle. I'll tune in after the match. Where your son, scroll up to the top of the page. Where your son, you gotta make sure you check in. Alright, they're in the room. They're a newer player, so they're trying to figure out how to get into this match. I like Dragalge's design. Don't know about the viability though. Yeah, I said its viability is a little questionable. Alright. Let me give them the code. Alright, cool. Alright, Oh, it's been a good day. Also, well, it is my dog because my girlfriend and I live together, but it's her dog. She's just sleeping in my lap right now, and which is kind of crazy because I'm just kind of talking pretty loud, and it's just like, nah, this is fine. Can do dog cam. Ready? I'm in a blanket. Dog cam. Alright. Let's see. Alright, our game is going to begin. It is between Jackaroni and Fish, aka Shiny Macaroni, and Krish. Shiny Macaroni is running a Raichu Y team with Vanillux, and Fish is running the Altaria team. It is Mega Altaria. See, I told you, if you come to Pokepal SmackDown tournaments, we always have unique stuff. So, Mega Altaria versus Mega Raichu Y. Unfortunately, that Altaria, while it does have Cloud9, definitely does not want to see that Vanillix, because that's going to be times 4 effective damage. It is a Choice Scarf Vanillix, so it's going to be a little tricky for Fish to navigate this. That is a Mega Venusaur, so it does have Thick Fat, which means it won't take full damage from the ice moves. It won't take super effective damage, but it will still hurt to take those blizzards. Notably, this Whimsicott is Encore with Endeavor. It cannot protect, but if it does get brought down to Sash, it is going to be doing massive damage back with Endeavor. And let's see. Actually, you know what? I can just put up both teams at the same time. Why don't I do that? So I can keep looking at them. Okay, do this. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. And hold on, let me get this up. Alright. So this is a fake out Last Resort Kangaskhan with Scrappy. Currently, right now, they're really threatening this Whimsicott. Basically, Fish is saying, like, hey, I know that you can't click Protect. So basically, I can get free damage on it. Garchomp goes for Protect. We'll have to see what Whimsicott does. The situation, though, is a little awkward because if Kangaskhan does go for Fake Out, this Whimsicott can pretty freely Encore it next turn. Would you be able to see nicknames if they use them, or is it not a thing in Spectator? When I play games, I can see nicknames. I don't know if... I do think I see them in Spectator mode. If it turns out to be a problem, I'll delete them. Alright, Moonblast connects into this Kangaskhan. It does 40%. Let's see. No Tailwind up. It looks like the Whimsicott on Jackaroni's side just went for a Moonblast. Did not actually connect with anything. Actually, this Garchomp can be Encore locked into Protect now. So it did get away with not taking any damage this turn. Kangaskhan did lose 40% of its health for its troubles. But basically, it's kind of in a weird situation now, where it's like both Whimsicotts can Encore both aggressive Pokemon into not attacking this turn. We see Venusaur switch in for the Whimsicott spot, and we see an Encore come out into this Garchomp, which is really funny because both Pokemon could have just locked down the offensive Pokemon. We see the double Protect does go off, and we'll have to see, does this Kangaskhan target into the Whimsicott? It does. Last Resort comes out. It's going to be a lot of damage into this non-Mega Venusaur. Actually takes it down to 21%. And just like that, Jackaroni's in a really commanding position because they're pretty free to just click Tailwind plus another Last Resort and just keep putting damage on the board. This Garchomp did go for a second Protect, which means it's unlikely to get another one. Triple Protects are extremely unlikely. It's more likely that this Whimsicott switches in this turn. Oh, instead it's a Basculegion, which, because of Scrappy, actually won't be immune to normal types like Normal. And this Venusaur is going to Mega Evolve, so it can't really click Protect freely here because it can just get Encored by the Whimsicott. Instead, Whimsicott opts for a Moonblast, saying, hey, I don't need Tailwind yet, I think we're going to outspeed both your Pokemon anyway. And another Last Resort fires off into this Venusaur and picks it up. That's a Mega down. And all of this has happened just because of one Encore turn. Like, clicking Protect on Garchomp in front of Whimsicott really put Fish on the back foot, which is funny because if they both just clicked Protect and Encored the other Pokemon, Jackaroni wouldn't have got this much momentum. Alright, so Whimsicott does switch in. We'll have to see what they do. Basically, now there is a little bit of a mind game where Tailwind could play a big factor, but Fish has already lost a lot of very valuable resources. They're not out of the game yet, but it's going to be really difficult for them to catch back up. Oh snap, I like this. Saw there's also a Mega Aggron and Golurk. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff in these tournaments usually. Also, Dog Cam has made it so I don't fully fit in the frame. Alright. Okay, so this Basculegion is a Choice Scarf Basculegion, which means that it is the fastest Pokemon on the field right now, pre-Tailwind. And Kangaskhan cannot click Protect, so I have to imagine we'll probably see some Tailwinds come out. And if the Whimsicott Tailwinds on Fish's side of the field, they're susceptible to being Encored. Alright, we do see Tailwind come out, and we do see that Jackaroni's Whimsicott was faster. Alright, Basculegion does block into Wave Crash. Wave Crash does come out into Kangaskhan. Both Whimsicotts are timid, so there's a chance they're speed tying, but we won't know for sure just yet. Also, notably, if you click Encore, you can't be locked into Encore. So we'll have to see what these players choose to do. Alright, Raichu comes out. Raichu is kind of threatening in the sense that it can remove this Basculegion in one hit, but because this Basculegion has Choice Scarf, and I have to assume it has adaptability, it does have adaptability. Generally, Raichu's not a very bulky Pokemon, so it's probably likely to go down to a Wave Crash here. And because this Whimsicott won't be able to attack freely into the okay, basically, if Fish chooses to Encore the Whimsicott, this Basculegion's free to swing for big damage this turn, is what I'm trying to say. This has to be the weirdest match I've ever played in my life, specifically the Game 1. Or that has to be. Why? What happened? Alright, so we do see Raichu Mega Evolve. Tailwind is up on both sides of the field. We do see a Fake Out come out into the Whimsicott. That is one way to stop Encore. We do see it come out. We see Wave Crash come out. We're probably going to be trading Raichu for this. Raichu does go down. If the final Pokemon is, in fact, the Ice Cream Cone, if it is Vanillux, I think that Jackaroni might have just punched their ticket to win this game. Moonblast comes out. Will remove this Basculegion at such low health. And just like that, Jackaroni is up. Or, sorry, it's a 2v2 situation, but Whimsicott Sash is broken. Garchomp versus no attacks Oranguru. Their only choice was to instruct Garchomp to Earthquake again. That is really interesting. That is funny. Okay, so this is a Choice Scarf Vanillux. I don't think that there's going to be any way for them to stop this incoming Blizzard, which is most likely going to remove both Pokemon. This is a Life Orb Jolly Garchomp, so to me this game is looking locked up, but we'll have to see if Shiny Macaroni... Or sorry, we'll have to see if Fish can find a way out of this. So I won with 0 Mons left. Wait, that is crazy. I didn't know that that's how that would work. That's really funny. Alright, Blizzard comes out and does remove both Pokemon. And Jackaroni is going to take game 1. So wait, I thought it... I'm pretty confident if you KO someone with your own Life Orb chip, like, you KO someone, you take Life Orb chip, you win the game still. Alright, like, I just want to make sure that we're not communicating that incorrectly. Like, did you take them out and then went down to Life Orb chip? Brother is giving out the double scoops. Yeah, he really did. That was honestly really well played by both players, and it just goes to show how much control Whimsicott with Encore really gives you. I would have thought the first knockout wins, right? Will you turn the sick up a little? Music up a little? Yeah, let me do that. I can do that. Is it getting louder? Yo, bro, can you turn up the sick? Oh, we're gonna turn. Yes, it did. Okay. How about now? Yes, that's how it works. Oranguru died and then Garchomp died to recoil. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, if you KO yourself on your Life Orb recoil, you normally win. Okay. I just want to make sure that I wasn't communicating that incorrectly to people. Oh man, I have so many shirts like yours. You'd identify me easily at events. LOL. Well, or would you blend into the crowd is the other question. I feel like I had to turn stream up a lot and the music was still quiet. Seems better now. Okay. I turned up my desktop audio and I believe that is what that mic is attached to. I've got like 7 different mics showing on OBS, so it makes it a little confusing. Oh, you had the Garchomp? Then it makes sense. Yeah. I love the games where the whole board is like completely wiped. You just have to handshake, win or lose, and be like, that was a great set. Yeah, but if you KO their last Mon with Explosion, you lose. That is correct. Yeah, Explosion always counts as their win. I got scared for a minute that game, then realized we both had it in the back and realized it was over. Yeah, that was a scary set. Okay, so we see that the leads have changed quite a bit. We have got Kangaskhan Whimsicott against Venusaur Basculegion. I guess the idea here is like, hey, if I get Sludge Bomb off early with Venusaur, I can remove this Whimsicott and potentially get speed control in my favor. The nice thing, though, with this Kangaskhan is that with Fake Out, you can always ensure that you're getting a Fake Out into any Pokemon because it's got Scrappy. So it can connect with Ghosts as well, which means that this Basculegion, which would normally be able to run pretty free, does not have that option right now. We see Venusaur Mega to get more bulk. It's not going to take as much damage as it did that first game because it came out, got hit by the Last Resort pre-Mega. So now it's got more bulk on its on its side. Okay, so we see Tailwind come out. Speed control is in Jackaroni's favor. We're going to see a Sleep Powder come out. Night Kangaskhan. Alright, the only issue though is like, Whimsicott's a grass Pokemon, which means that it is immune to Sleep Powder. So yeah, you can Encore this Venusaur, but it's gonna make it so that it can't Sleep Powder into you. Like, it's gonna just be a wasted turn for this Venusaur. Their maintenance later, right? I haven't read anything about maintenance. It would be quite unfortunate if maintenance interrupts our tournament, but if it happens, it happens, and there's not much we can do. Alright, we see Encore come out again, which I have to assume means we're going to see another Sleep Powder come out. The question is, where did they target? Alright, we see Wave Crash into this Pasho Berry Incineroar. It is going to take it. Intimidate is going to lower this Basculegion's damage output, and instead of taking all of its health, it's just going to take 50%. It cuts the damage in half, which is exactly enough. Alright, Sleep Powder does come out. Fish is saying, you know what? Everyone can just take a nap if I can't have speed control. Alright, but with that said, Fish is locked into Wave Crash and Venusaur is locked into Sleep Powder, so they can't really hurt Whimsicott. Whimsicott's not the most offensive Pokemon, but you can always just kind of get damage and like slowly get in the board or get on the board now. So we can see a Moonblast fire off into Basculegion, and that should pick it up if it chooses to Wave Crash into Incineroar. Alright, Moonblast comes into Basculegion. Doesn't pick it up, but the recoil from Wave Crash should do enough. Let's see. Alright, there goes Incineroar. Is Basculegion also down? I think I would have just burnt the sleep turn with Kanga if I was playing this. Yeah, I think that's a very valid option. For people not in the know, basically you have a at least two turn sleep counter. The first turn you always have to sleep. The second turn, there's a chance you can wake up, and the third turn you're guaranteed to wake up. So if Kangaskhan just stayed in and burned a turn of sleep, there's a chance it would have been able to wake up. But if Kangaskhan comes in at any point now, there's always a chance that it will not wake up. Or sorry, it will never wake up. Yeah. Wait, is the second turn wake up chance? Yes, the second turn is wake up chance. And then the third turn used to be wake up chance, but now it's guaranteed. Alright, so now we see Vanillix is back on the field. Venusaur is at full health. Kangaskhan is asleep. This is looking like a much better board state for Fish, especially because Tailwind's about to end on Jackaroni's side of the field, and for Fish it hasn't even been put up yet. We see a taunt come out into this Mega Venusaur saying, hey, I don't want to get put to sleep anymore. That was quite annoying. We see a Tailwind come out. No, I meant the percentage of waking up. Oh, the percentage of waking up is 0 on the first turn. I think it's a 50-50 on turn 2. Let's see. What time did it say? I remember UA pop-up. Oh, we see Whimsicott gets frozen. Oh, and the Sleep Powder blocks the taunt. Or sorry, the taunt blocks the Sleep Powder. Tailwind does end. Tailwind is up for Fish. The question is, what are these trainers going to choose to do? Another Blizzard will just remove this Whimsicott. But the thing is like, if Whimsicott thaws this turn, they have the chance to potentially encore Whimsicott. Kangaskhan's going to switch in for the Whimsicott. Whimsicott does thaw out, gets a big Endeavor off into Vanillix, brings it down to 1 health, which means the follow-up will pick it up. But instead of going for a follow-up, we see just a Sludge Bomb come out. Alright, another Blizzard into Venusaur. It's taking heavy damage for its troubles. I can't check right now. I guess the other question is the maintenance for the whole game or just the rank ladder? You know, like what's going to go down if something goes down. Alright, so now we'll have to see who the fourth and final Pokemon is. It is Garchomp. Tailwind is up, which means that Fish's Pokemon will outspeed Jackaroni's. Jackaroni, since Kangaskhan's taken 0 sleep turns, can kind of be freely attacked into. I think that this game, as long as Garchomp can finish off this Kangaskhan, a Sludge Bomb into the Vanillix is looking really strong right now. Like, you can Sludge Bomb with Venusaur into Vanillix, attack with Garchomp into Kangaskhan, and it should be good. It said 2 o'clock UTC. Let me check. Alright, 2 o'clock UTC. That would be 10 p.m. That'd be 9 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Alright. Whimsicott comes back out. Hence why I said a Sludge Bomb would be a strong play there, because the Vanillux wouldn't be able to take the hit. Honestly, doubling into this spot would be pretty strong too, because that way you're guaranteeing picking up this Whimsicott. Do they double it? They do not, which means that this Whimsicott's going to be able to recast Tailwind, which means these Pokemon are going to have to take another Blizzard for their troubles. Ooh, this is looking quite rough. There is one more turn of Tailwind. Garchomp can click Protect, and Venusaur can click a Sludge Bomb into Vanillux to remove it. But the question is one, will Venusaur freeze? Will the Garchomp click Protect? Will Whimsicott Encore Lock it afterwards? There's a lot of things that are like potentially really, really difficult to deal with here. And Jackaroni could have been taken out of the game if Fish just chose to double into that Vanillux spot last turn with Sludge Bomb and a ground move. Because the thing is like, even if Vanillux stayed in, you would get your attack redirected into Kangaskhan anyway. So 10 p.m. is around when the tour usually ends, lol. Yeah, so we'll have to hope it's a quick one. No one's playing stall this game. Alright, Tailwind comes out. Here comes Big Blizzards. I don't believe we saw a Protect. Ice Beam comes out into Venusaur. It lives on 1! Alright, we see Rock Slide come out. It's going to connect into both, which means that Vanillux is going down. Whimsicott is at 21% health. But I believe this Venusaur is going to finish it off with a big old Sludge Bomb. Oh, just goes for Giga Drain instead, and that's enough. Never mind. So something to note for that, too, is that Garchomp probably could have clicked Protect there. Like, probably would have been fine, too, because you could just Sludge Bomb into the Vanillux. Since it's a Scarf Vanillux, it can never Protect. And then, basically, yeah, Whimsicott might be able to Encore Lock you, but you have 2 threats on the field that they have to deal with. I believe that's why they went for Ice Beam, but I still think Blizzard does more than Ice Beam even with the spread, right? I'm pretty confident. Let me check. Blizzard Ice Beam. Oh, you know what? Ice Beam does do more than Blizzard. Never mind, I take it back. Yeah, Ice Beam's base 90. So the reason why I'm talking about it doing more or less is even though Blizzard has higher base power, spread moves in Pokemon do reduce damage. I believe it does 70 or 80%. I think it removes 20%. Let me check to make sure. It's 25% damage reduction. And the chance to wake up from sleep is 50%. Yep, that's what I thought on turn 2. Is spread move damage still reduced if it only hits 1 mon due to Protect, Miss, or something? As long as the move is intended to hit more than one partner or more than one person or Pokemon, it's gonna do the damage reduction. So if you miss, you still get the damage reduction. Also, if you're using a move like Earthquake and your partner's there, that also applies it. So like if you're trying to target them and your buddy Raichu's still here, you're not gonna get max power. All right. So we're going to game 3, baby. All right, Venusaur and Garchomp, they're like, hey, you put Vanillux in the back every time. Guess what? Not this time. We see an Intimidate come out, and we see a very offensive-looking Vanillux staring down 2 Pokemon that it's pretty happy to see. Notably, this Venusaur does not have Protect. It has Sleep Powder instead, which means that it's taking a Blizzard this turn. The question is, what is Fish going to do in this situation? They really don't want to lose their Garchomp immediately. Venusaur's going to Mega Evolve, get some thick fat for their troubles. I think Venusaur's taking a Fake Out, though, because there's no real reason for Fish not to click Protect on their Garchomp, because Garchomp's heavily threatened. Basically, you're going to have to get a Pokemon in here that can deal with this Vanillux, so you'd have to switch in something like a Basculegion or an Incineroar, but instead just saying, you know what, I'm going for the Protect. Venusaur, you can tank these. Doesn't love it, but hey, it's still on the board. I think that Fish really did, if Fish has a Pokemon in the back that can be, like, really change the momentum for them, they needed to switch it in that turn, because it was almost guaranteed that they weren't going to be taking a attack from that Incineroar that turn. The safest play on paper is faking out the Venusaur and clicking Blizzard, because you're removing the Garchomp because you outspeed it and it's times 4 effective, and the Venusaur, like, is pretty offensively threatening to your team. It's not one-shotting any of these Pokemon most likely, but like, it's not a Pokemon you want to let just get off a bunch of Giga Drains and be really annoying. So we see Garchomp switch out, possibly a turn too late. We'll have to see. Basculegion comes in this turn. Double scoop threat. Is that an Altaria on the screen? It is. It's a Mega Altaria. It has not come to any of these games because this Ice Cream Cone is just too much of a problem. Is it worth me porting my draft team as champions? I lined up all the guys at home so they are basically ready to go, but if you are planning on Showdown anyway, then I wouldn't want to waste the resources. I don't have my team on champions yet, Austin, so I don't think it's worth the resources yet. Alright, we see a Giga Drain fire off into this Vanillux, and it's going to do damage, and I think Fish was hoping that they'd survive the Flare Blitz afterwards, but they just take too much damage. They succumb to the damage. Venusaur goes down. Garchomp comes back in. So the real issue here, though, is I'm pretty confident that this... Actually, hold on, wait. This is a Choice Scarf Modest Vanillux and a Jolly Basculegion. So as long as this Basculegion's max speed, I have to imagine it's going to outspeed, which means that Vanillux is threatened, and Garchomp can kind of be on the board and actually be a scary Pokemon now. Wait, we're good. It's on the 8th, so it'll be the 9th. It'll be the night on the 7th for us in the USA. Thanks, Regal Ace. I really appreciate you looking into that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciated. Okay, so right now, I think it's highly likely that we see Vanillux switch out, possibly have Whimsicott come in. Okay, well, it's Kangaskhan. Alright, Kangaskhan comes into the battlefield. Plus, who's coming in over here? There he is. I knew he was coming, or she was coming. Whimsicott joins the battle. We see a Wave Crash into that Kangaskhan. It's probably not going to remove it, but it's going to do a lot. Yep. Followed up by an attack from Garchomp into this Whimsicott. It's got ground damage. It is resisted damage. It does do a decent amount of damage to this Whimsicott. Not enough, but it is pretty scary. A Dragon Claw would have done nothing to it, so... Kangaskhan's on the board at 8%, does have Fake Out Live, and because it's scrappy, can hit either Pokemon. Venusaur is already down for Fish. Jackaroni has all the Pokemon available to them, chose not to bring a Mega, said, hey, this Ice Cream Cone is just too delicious, I have to bring it. Gotta love someone else playing Mega Altaria, lol. Very different team from what I had with it. Yeah, it is. They have gone to Game 3, so... They haven't brought the Altaria, but they're here in Game 3. Okay. Kangaskhan is really, really low. It is going to get a Fake Out into Basculegion. Kind of deems that one to be a bigger threat. Tailwind comes out. What is Fish's move here? I have to guess it's probably going to be Rock Slide to get good spread damage onto both Pokemon. Never mind, it's Dragon Claw saying, I just want to remove Kangaskhan. I think you would have gotten more momentum if you clicked Rock Slide there. The idea being that Rock Slide can do damage into both. And, like, yeah, obviously you can miss with Rock Slide, but at the same time, just because you have moves that can miss doesn't mean you can't. You have to use them, right? Also, notably, I think Basculegion would have been kind of okay to just switch out there. Like, being locked into Wave Crash inside a Tailwind is really not doing a lot for you. I think you need to be locked into Encore. I feel like Cloud9 making you respect the fact Blizzard can miss is a little useful in this matchup. Yes, it is, but it's also scary because then you have two Pokemon that are quad weak to Ice type, and you're like, better miss that Blizzard. Whim's Encore into Chomp is scary now. I really agree. Yeah, especially, well, the thing too is they have Tailwind up, so it's like super difficult. Alright, we see Incineroar switch in here. Tailwind is up. This Fish has like no health left on the board. It's gonna switch out. Here comes Whimsicott. 1-0 to start, let's go, woo! Alright, Garchomp going for the Protect, can be Encore locked now. We see a Moonblast fire off into Whimsicott. It's gonna take more than half, so this Whimsicott is on borrowed time here. The other unfortunate thing is that this Incineroar can just fake out into this Whimsicott freely because we've seen that this Whimsicott does not have Protect, which means that If you're switching Basculegion, it'll go down to Moonblast. If you fake out in Moonblast, it'll take out Whimsicott. No matter what, yep, as long as you double this Whimsicott, provided you don't like get a Rock Slide crit flinch on either of these Pokemon. Oh, Moonblast comes out. Garchomp does survive. Maybe this is their way back into this game. What do we see? What does the player choose to do? It goes for Stomping Tantrum, chooses to remove Incineroar, or attempt to remove Incineroar, but unfortunately it's just not going to be enough. And Life Orb will chip out this Garchomp. Thank you for the follow, Riddler. Greatly appreciated. Okay. The question, though, is, like, with just a low-health Basculegion and Whimsicott left on Fish's side of the field, I don't think that there's enough gas in the tank to get to where they need to be. There's no Tailwind up. There's one more turn of Tailwind left for Jackaroni. You can't Encore Incineroar into Fake Out because it is a Dark type and you have Prankster. I just don't see it happening. I guess with a Tailwind Last Respects, you can remove either one of these Pokemon, but the thing is, you're going to probably get removed for your troubles too. Yeah, Double into Bask is free. I agree. I guess there is a no. Hey, can you explain Vanillix is something like? Can you explain Vanillix versus something like a Ninetales? Okay, so the difference between Vanillix and Ninetales is generally like a more middle of the road offensive support piece, whereas Vanillix is almost always entirely like a Choice Scarf Blizzard Pokemon. I believe that we'll pull it up after the game is over and really talk about it. Okay, so Last Respects does come out into this Whimsicott, and then what we're gonna see is this Incineroar choose to remove this Whimsicott, okay, which is now gonna result in a 2v1 situation where it is Basculegion versus both I can't talk. Both a Choice Scarf Vanillix and an Incineroar. The thing is while it can remove either Pokemon, Vanillix is gonna underspeed this fish. I believe that this Vanillix has got Freeze Dry. It does, which means that both these Pokemon can remove Basculegion from the field. So the question on Fish's mind is, which Pokemon do I want to take out before I go down? Choosing to Last Respects the Vanillix, getting rid of that Ice Cream Cone that has been the bane of his existence, leaving this Incineroar to Darkest Lariat is way to victory. Okay, and that's the end of our set. A very close one, very good games. But let's pull up Vanillix on the screen so we can, and talk about why he's really strong. Alright, there is their team. They use Vanillix. I'm gonna go to Showdown just to talk about this, so we can have pictures and talk. Ready? Don't look at any of that. Alright, Vanillix. Oh. Vanillix versus Ninetales. Alright, so Vanillix has a special attack stat of 110. Ninetales has a special attack stat of 81. So Vanillix hits way harder. The nice thing about Ninetales, though, is it's naturally faster and runs moves like Encore. So we just saw in that set how strong Encore can be. It can lock you into moves, and because Ninetales is naturally fast, it's really a pain in the butt. I believe it also gets Disable, so you can do Encore Disable. If you fought a Perish Trap Gengar, you know why that's so strong. You can just lock people out of using their moves. It does get Freeze Dry, which can hit super effective on Water-type Pokemon. Generally with Vanillix, you see it more run like this, where it's Blizzard. I don't know why it's saying illegal, but it's not. I think it just thinks Vanillix is illegal. Let me do this. It shouldn't be illegal anymore. Okay. You see Blizzard, Icy Wind for speed control. It gets Aurora Veil, I'm sure. Yeah, I've seen Aurora Veil even on Choice Scarf sets just to mitigate damage for your other Pokemon. This one had Freeze Dry, so it can hit hard on the water types, and usually on this one we saw they opted for Ice Beam instead for a good single target move. But yeah. Oh, this one actually has Flash Cannon too. Do they not have Freeze Dry? Blizzard, Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, Flash Cannon. I guess they said I don't need speed control. I think Icy Wind's really strong, especially with that +1 from the Choice Scarf to make it so you naturally outspeed everything. But yeah, that's generally the difference in why people would run Vanillix versus Ninetales. It really depends on what your team needs. If you're missing out on KOs, you go Vanillix. If your team is like needs more of a defensive core, like a Pokemon that can really disable or shut down Pokemon without going for kills directly, Ninetales is a better choice. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so that was our first set. Let me check how this tournament is going. Let's see. congratulations to both players. They played it really well. I hope they watch that back because I honestly think both players, there were turns that could have been optimized a little bit more on both sides. So Ninetales also being faster than Garchomp is very nice. True. So a hard chomp counter Vanillix would be a better choice. Any idea? We haven't seen much in Reggae. I did see a few. It's kind of like an anti-meta Pokemon. I know Rishi was running it for a little bit. There's no real answer why people weren't running it. There's a lot of like good Pokemon that get left on the cutting room floor because people will generally build off of already established teams. Vanillix also like leaves a bit to be desired in the stats department. It's like, yeah, it hits harder than Ninetales, but it's an ice type, which like defensively is one of the worst types in the game. Ninetales has an immunity. It's gonna be really hard to justify Choice Scarf Vanillix over Ninetales. If you need a Choice Scarf Pokemon though, like you might want to hit harder, and that's kind of why people go down that route. I've been seeing Never Melt Ice Ninetales show up more like in this format because it's like, hey, I want to deal with all the Swampert and I want to use Freeze Dry, and that seems to be an option. You can do that with Vanillix, but I don't know. Also, what's cooler, an ice cream cone or the nine-tailed fox that's like an icy fairy snow spirit? It's kind of like flavor too, you know? I don't know. But yeah. Okay, so we have 3 games that are not resolved yet. They are currently 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. We're gonna jump in and we're gonna look at Captain Eric versus Jantelopes to see how this game ends. That mix-up game 2 threw me off so hard. Thought I was about to lose game 3 too, because I couldn't find the path to victory for like way too long. Honestly, it was a very close set. You both played it really well. I really highly recommend that after the stream you go back and watch the VOD, because there was a turn or two that both players could have optimized a little bit more. So just food for thought. I can't remember what exactly the turns were. I think it was at one point, if you doubled into Whimsicott, I think it was a guaranteed line to victory, and I think also same for Basculegion. But if you go back and watch the VOD, you'll see exactly what moment we're talking about. The date changed right when I punched it in. That always happens, where the date changes right when I try and join someone else's room. 8, 7, 3, 1, 6. Alright, we're joining Captain Eric's room. Let's see. Hopefully this is in a board state where it's not just like over. Oh, it just ended. Never mind. Sorry, guys. Alright. Then there was 1 game still ongoing. Or is that everything? There's 1 game ongoing, and it is Lit Luke. Let's see. It sounds like this game's been going crazy because they're messaging a lot in there. Let's see. 757-099. And also, when I want to say, if I'm giving constructive criticism, it's not like, oh, you guys played poorly. Pokemon's a game where there's a lot of moving pieces and it's hard to really see what's going on. And sometimes it's really important to look back on what's happened and talk about it. We've got the I love that every icon in this group is a different one. We have Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur. We got all 3 Kanto starters here. Okay, so basically jumping in late. Okay, also, yeah, I was watching during games 2 and 3. I'll definitely rewatch. This team is literally my free-to-play no Pokemon home mobile account ranked team, so happy to get at least 1 win in. Hey, it looked like a strong team. What old megas do you think they're likely to introduce in MC if they don't introduce everything? I'm trying to think of what old megas are still on the table right now. Delphox, no! Alright, what did Delphox get crit? Delphox looking good right now. He just took a KO. Oh, Lycanroc. Delphox, no. Okay, you know what though? Delphox naturally outspeeds Lycanroc. Basically it's gonna come down to if Sneezy Joe can remove this Delphox. it's highly likely that the Sinestro just clicks Rage Powder to take an Accelerock. There is a world in which they go for a Psychic move to remove the Sneasler. Okay, we see a Protect from Lycanroc. We see Rage Powder come out from Sinestro. I don't think Heat Wave, unless this Delphox is boosted up, will remove the Sneasler. Okay, Dire Claw comes out. Heat Wave comes out. Is this boosted up? Is this going to be enough to remove this Sneasler? We did see Sneasler outsped, which means it's most likely already used its White Herb. Sneezy Joe goes down to 33%. We do see that the final Pokemon is Garchomp. That is not a Pokemon you want to see if you are running a Lycanroc and a Sneasler. What? If your Garchomp is that low, maybe you do. I don't know. The unfortunate thing, though, here is that this Lycanroc at 10%... this Lycanroc is going to probably go down immediately to a Heat Wave, so it's only really going to be able to throw out an Accelerock, and this Garchomp really doesn't have a reason not to click Earthquake. Sneezy Joe can just click Close Combat into Garchomp, but a Heat Wave is basically going to pick up either of these Pokemon, or both of these Pokemon right now. It's basically going to come down to whether Heat Wave can connect or if Accelerock can finish off Delphox. Accelerock does not finish off Delphox. Close Combat comes out. Yeah, they need a Heat Wave miss. A Heat Wave miss will change this game. Both Pokemon, both Sneezy Joe, this Sneasler, and Lycanroc can remove Delphox next turn if it doesn't connect, but Heat Wave does connect, Delphox does deliver, and that's the end of the set. A very, very close game. Honestly, I know we only came in for like the last few turns, but both players played that phenomenally. Great job. Parker, there was double crits. Man, I'm so upset we missed their set. Like, they are talking like this was the hypest set of all time. There was double back-to-back Rock Slide double misses. Oh my gosh. And freezes and burns. Yeah, well, guys, if you're gonna have a fun set or crazy set, you have to tell me before it happens, right? And you gotta let me know so I can come in. That was my first Limitless fight. My bad, I rigged the set beforehand. Yeah, you gotta, if you know that you're gonna have a banger of a set, you have to tell me before the set happens. And Pokemon's a game where you can anticipate it's gonna happen, right? I love this, they have such positive energy. Both players were like, it was a fight for the ages. That's the energy we want in these tournaments. Alright, I'm gonna tell the Discord that round 2 is up. I was shocked I got the first stream game of the day. You know what? The odds were in your favor. The number generator chose you. Using Parrish, you want to see me? But I mean, Parrish can sometimes be hype. It was a 5-star classic. All my Rock Slides flinched my opponent's pecs. Okay. Everyone's talking like they had the most hype, crazy game of all time. Like, there was a fun set that we watched. I'm ready to see, like, in the next set you guys deliver, and it's like everyone's getting double freezes, but, like, thawing at the right time, and, like, I want the cinema you guys are talking about. Alright, we are going to use the random number generator again. Let me get it up. We have 19 sets this time. We did have a few people drop. That's okay. That's the nature of tournaments. Let's see. But if you drop, there's no chance that you'll get your stream match featured, so always good to stay in. Always good to keep playing it out. We have 19 matches, so 1 through 19. Actually, 1 through 18, because I think there is a bye. Oh, no, never mind. There's not a bye. I'm wrong. Gotta make sure that everyone gets included. Alright, it is number... I'm gonna make sure... It is number 3. Noah versus Rayantoch. That is a Dragonite, Mega Dragonite plus Mega Swampert versus Mega Swampert plus Mega Metagross. And Mega Metagross. So let's see, as long as they both show up, we will be doing that match. I'm going to get another one lined up just in case. Thumbnail is amazing, by the way. Thank you. I had fun making that one. I'm fighting an Alchemy you should watch. I'm table 1, this is scary. I like how Rayan Touch is in here just saying hello, like they know I'm in here. It's it's a good thing to be table 1. I do want to come watch you, Izzy. Izzy is a phenomenal player. They are on the Michigan VGC team. I'm the well, I was the coach last year of the Michigan VGC team. It's not ongoing right now, so who's to say what'll be the coach for next year? But anyway, they had like a phenomenal run. We played against all the other states. I think, Izzy, did you go undefeated or did you only lose one time? You played it really, really well. And basically, Michigan got 4th place overall out of all 50 states, so woo! 6-0. 6-0. Izzy was the all-star. That was an all-star run. Crazy numbers. Okay, we have not seen them check in. I'm going to line up Izzy's match if our opponent doesn't show up for game number 3 or set 3, we are gonna watch Izzy's match. So that's gonna be some high quality Pokemon because you don't see Izzy versus Alchemy too frequently. So we did the random number generator. If they don't show up, they don't show up. So. And Ryan Toch, we will make sure that you... I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I hope that I am. If they don't show up, we'll just have you be the stream match for set 3, okay? So you won't be left on the left in the lurch. Let's see. We only have 3 minutes left. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. That'll give us the time to see who's here and who's not. So. Wrong one. Okay, I don't know why I was muted. Basically, their opponent did not show up, so we are... yeah, I don't know what was going on there. But we're watching Izzy's game instead. Okay. Izzy is rocking a... I'm assuming that's Talonflame behind me. No, it's a Charizard. That also makes sense. So it's like, fire flying. Izzy is rocking a mixed, like, Tail Room team. So basically, if you're not familiar, Tail Room is a concept where The idea is, like, you have to make your opponent do a 50-50 because Tailwind is fast speed control. Trick Room is slow speed control. Like, you want to underspeed your opponents. It's really good for middle of the line or middle of the road speed Pokemon because, like, if they get Tailwind, they're gonna outspeed you, and if they get Trick Room, they're gonna underspeed your slow Pokemon. Izzy is a really powerful player. I imagine they'll use this team really well. It's really built around saying, you know what, if I get Trick Room up, my Mawile is going to be really strong, but if I get Tailwind up, my Charizard is going to be strong. And if you set Tailwind or Trick Room, then you're going to have a difficult time navigating it. We do see an Alchemy, which is really cool. Alchemy is a Pokemon that uses the move Decorate, which is going to boost both attacking stats to +2. That's going to be really strong with Metagross, who notably can't be intimidated. And it's just going to... I think the idea is, like, Metagross will be able to steamroll teams. I have to imagine Izzy's going to bring Charizard because Charizard is like a natural good Pokemon to bring into Metagross. So, thank you so much for the follow, Nathan BGC. Greatly appreciated. We decorating? We are decorating. All right. So, anticipating that Charizard is going to be brought, Max Uxie decides, hey, I'm going to bring my Garchomp. And Izzy says, you know what? You want to know what beats Garchomp? Garchomp. So, you can't click Rock Slide super freely here. Let's see, what kind of Grimmsnarl is this? I'm going to open both tabs so I have eyes on both team sheets. I'm getting better, guys. I'm getting better at streaming, I swear. Alright, let's see. Okay. This is a Parting Shot Grimmsnarl plus Spirit Break, Reflect, and Light Screen. So the idea is that this Grimmsnarl is really good at damage control, mitigating damage and being really annoying. We do see Charizard switch out into Farigiraf. Farigiraf will block priority moves, so if this Grimmsnarl tries to go for something like a Parting Shot, it's going to get blocked. We see a Protect come out from Garchomp. Light Screen goes up. That's going to mitigate all of the special attack damage that this Pokemon might receive. You know what? Max calls the turn really well, says, hey, my Garchomp is the big threat for your Charizard here. I'm going to just protect it, and you're going to not get that much out of this turn. Light Screen's up, which means this Grimmsnarl is kind of cooking. He's just like, I'm fine. I can Spirit Break either Pokemon. Into Garchomp, it's going to do great damage. This is a Mega Garchomp, actually, notably, on Max Uxie's side of the field. And then on Izzy's side of the field, this is a Life Orb Garchomp. So, if I hadn't read that right before here, I would have been popping off. You don't see Mega Garchomp too frequently. It did get top 8 at, or maybe it was top 16, at the Indianapolis Regional. So, this Garchomp actually trades speed for offensive power. We see Helping Hand come out from Farigiraf. That's going to make it so that this Garchomp's going to do a lot of damage. I don't know that Mega Garchomp behind Reflect is even going to be able to take this Dragon Claw. Here it comes! It does survive, and what does it do in return? I have to imagine we're going to see a Dragon Claw come right back out. Okay, we see Earthquake saying, you know what, I just need to do damage onto everything, including my own Grimmsnarl. Garchomp takes a lot of damage. And now the question is like, hey, is Garchomp gonna protect again? Because if so, then I can get free damage into this Grimmsnarl. But if Garchomp doesn't protect again, or if you go for an attack and you leave this Garchomp vulnerable, like, it could get big damage into the Farigiraf. Notably, Garchomp is probably, I mean, it's almost certainly in range of getting Earthquaked and taken out from here. But also, Izzy can probably take out, or sorry, Max can probably take out Garchomp with the Spirit Break of their own. So there's a lot of mind games at play. Also, if they go for Earthquake and Garchomp brings in Sinestcha, that's going to be really difficult for them. Megachomp Classic looks so sick. I agree. It's a really cool looking Pokemon. Not gonna lie, facing off Metamons can be scary. I faced a Liepard today, and I had no idea what moves it can run. It was also some weird assist move or something. Yeah, so Liepard has a move that is unique to cats, which is, I think it's just called assist, right? Hold on. It's been so long. It just steals a move randomly from the rest of your team. Yeah, it's assist. Basically, it takes a move randomly from your team. Sometimes people would run it with dive because you get Prankster dive, so you go faster. And then on turns afterwards, Prankster wouldn't happen because it's an attacking move, so you go slower. I think they patched that out of the game, though. Letting a little dessert decorate the battlefield. Let's see if it happens. Okay, so Grimmsnarl, Sinestcha. This is a really defensive board. They have Reflect up. They have Light Screen up. Basically, they're saying, you know what? Let's just try and do let's slow this game down. Alright, we're going to see Earthquake come out. It's going to do damage into both Pokemon, but notably not a ton. If the Sinestcha... Can it set up Trick Room is the question. If the Sinestcha went for Trick Room, it's going to make this turn a little bit more tricky for Charizard. Garchomp loses some HP. Machakacha comes out, doesn't connect into Charizard. That's fine. Charizard was going to Quad Resist that anyway. Yeah, Copycat Cat. It can do Copycat as well. Alright, so Machakacha is going to remove this Garchomp, and I imagine we're probably going to see a Spirit Break come out into this Charizard, which is going to lower its attacking stat. Or, sorry, its special attack stat. This is a Charizard Y, which means it definitely uses those stats. The question, though, is I don't think that it's going to be enough. There is Light Screen in effect and a -1 on the Charizard, but if this Charizard chooses to go for something like a Weather Ball into Sinestcha, I have to imagine it's still just going to pick up. The question, though, is, like, how do you navigate these turns? And also, like, we haven't seen Charizard Mega yet, which to me makes me feel like the final Pokemon could very well be Mawile. Because if you're angling for a Trick Room mode, Mawile is the Pokemon that can finish off the entire team. Alright, well, we're going to have to see how the players choose to play this one out. Charizard Y does Mega Evolve. This is a very scary Pokemon offensively. It's going to do big damage. If it lands a crit into either of these Pokemon, it's going to be lights out. Because that will go through the Reflect and the -1 stages. We do see Helping Hand come out. This might just be Helping Hand Weather Ball. It might be Helping Hand Heat Wave. We'll have to see. Can Sinestcha survive with Light Screen and a -1? It does. Grimmsnarl can't take it, but little Sinestcha can. Sinestcha eats its Citrus Berry, and it stays on the field for one more turn. Fires off another Machakacha. Not going to do much to Charizard, but hey, healing's healing and damage is damage. A critical hit into Farigiraf. Sinestcha's on the board for one more turn. It probably can't take another Heat Wave, but hey, damage is damage, right? And that's another turn we can redirect moves. Now the next question is, can Garchomp come in here? Do you think Garchomp can survive a Heat Wave in this situation? It's a dessert! Alchemy joins the battlefield. This is Decorate, Dazzling Gleam, Protect, Mystical Fire, Alchemy. So, this is also Fairy Feather. I don't think Fairy Feather will pick up. The Sinestcha does have Life Dew, so on the off chance that the Sinestcha can dodge a Heat Wave, we're gonna have to see what this player chooses to do. I could see a world where you Mystic Fire this Charizard to, like, mitigate its damage even more. Yeah, Citrus Tea, yup. Okay, Helping Hand comes out again. Here comes another Heat Wave. I'd have to imagine. Heat Wave comes out. Alchemy goes down. Was that a critical hit? It was a critical hit. Says, I don't care about Light Screen. I don't care about Reflect. I don't care that I'm -1. I'm taking you out of here. Got your orange tea and your cream puff. Yeah, notably, you should not have desserts out or tea or a matcha tea out in a Heat Wave because they will be taken down. All right, Garchomp comes out. We'll have to see, does Garchomp have enough in the tank? I have to think that a Helping Hand Weather Ball or Helping Hand Solar Beam is just going to be enough. This Charizard most likely is going to outspeed Garchomp. In the off chance it does underspeed, and the last Pokemon is Mawile. No, there's not even a chance because this Mawile is packing Sucker Punch. Instead, we're just going to see a Helping Hand. We are going to see how the... Yeah, that was a huge crit, I agree. We're going to see how these Pokemon are trained. Solar Beam comes out. This is Light Screen, but it is Helping Hand. We'll have to see. Can it survive? I don't think it will. Garchomp goes down, and we're going to see that's the end of Game 1. Well played to both players. An unfortunate crit, but I also don't know if it would have been enough. Well played. Izzy says sorry for the crit. Izzy gets the W on this one. But Max, you know what? Max played well. They have a really interesting team. We're going to have to see, can they bring the heat back to Izzy in Game 2? Burnt the whole meal, I agree. Alright, let's see. Okay, so Izzy chose to go... This is the strength of a Tailwind team, or sorry, a Tail Room team, is that Izzy was like, hey, I brought Charizard this game. I didn't click either of them this time. I did have Farigiraf, but it's like, what happens if they just choose to bring Whimsicott? And then they go fast, and you have to deal with this, like, really offensive pressure, you know? So we'll have to see how Max is going to respond. We did not see Annihilate come. This is a bulk up. Sorry, it's not a bulk up. This is an Ice Punch Annihilate with leftovers. I think the idea here is like you can just amp up this Annihilate's damage with Decorate and just get giant Rage Fists off. I also kind of question, does the Alchemy outspeed the Mega Garchomp? Like, is the idea here like I have super bulky Garchomp and I can have it do super huge damage? I can't imagine that we will see Metagross, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait and see. Alright. We do see the Izzy W, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't see your message earlier, Tank. Oh, that's amazing. Ape 2. This team is crazy. Very interesting. Okay, so we do see Ape. I guess the idea here is like, hey, last time you brought Garchomp, if you bring Garchomp again, I'm just going to Ice Punch him. The only thing, though, is Ice Punch is not a particularly strong move. It doesn't have a lot of base power, and Garchomp is a stat ball. It's very strong. So I have to imagine that unless this Annihilate is trained specifically to take out Garchomp, it's probably not going to be enough. Notably, it is a Life Orb Garchomp, so maybe after the Life Orb tick it'll be enough, but we'll have to wait and see. Also notably, Izzy's Garchomp is a Jolly Garchomp, which means it's going to probably be the fastest Pokemon. We see that this is Adamant Annihilate. So, depending on how Charizard and Annihilate are trained, those speeds can be different, or those speeds can flirt a little, maybe be similar. Okay, so instead we see Annihilate just go for a Protect, saying, you know what? It's a pretty scary Pokemon after we get all set up, so let's take it nice and slow. We see Light Screen go up. I have to imagine this is just going to be Heat. Oh, it's Heat Wave plus Earthquake to just get consistent damage on both Pokemon. Also notably, if they've already taken that Life Orb tick, then the Ice Punch will probably take them out after. So, let's see. All right. We see a Weather Ball come out saying, this Annihilate's a problem. I don't want to let it get online. Light Screen is now up. This Grimmsnarl could pretty safely just Parting Shot into Charizard if they think that they're going to go for Weather Ball again. And then bring in something like, I was going to say Sinestro, but the only Pokemon on Max's side of the board that resists Fire-type moves is Garchomp, and nothing really wants to take an Earthquake with the exception of Sinestro. Alright, we do see instead, the option is just to put up both screens, saying, let's take it nice and slow. I went against the Alchemy guy. My Perish worked in Game 2, but I couldn't finish the job. Yeah, it looks like a pretty strong team. All right, we see Earthquake come out. Grimmsnarl is here. It's going to stay around for another turn. I have to imagine that we're probably going to see Weather Ball again. They really don't want to see this Annihilate get out of control. Takes the Weather Ball, survives with 8%. If it chooses to attack into Garchomp, that's going to be the end of Garchomp. Instead, we're just going to see a Rage Fist fire into Charizard, just take it out one shot. Wow. That was not what I was expecting. That is a strong Annihilate. Okay. But you know what? For his troubles, Annihilate is at 8%, Grimmsnarl is at 8%. They're looking like they are not long for this world. Farigiraf is going to come onto the field next, and I have to imagine that we might be seeing either Grimmsnarl go down or Grimmsnarl switch out for a Sinestro. Also notably, this Annihilate can only click Drain Punch into Farigiraf. It can't use Rage Fist, its strongest move, so that's quite annoying for it. And also with both Pokemon at such low health, they are going to go down to either an Earthquake or just the the chip from Garchomp's Rough Skip. Annihilate's probably out of range at 14%, but you never know. Alright, Annihilate going for the safe Protect, saying, you know what, I think it's highly likely you just attack me here. Parting Shot is going to be blocked by Armor Tail. We're going to see a Dragon Claw come out into Annihilate. And what is this Farigiraf going to do? It's going to do Hyper Voice. Is it enough to pick up? Our Grimmsnarl here does not pick up. Or sorry, does pick up. I don't know what I'm saying. Gets the critical hit. It was almost certainly going to pick up at that low health. We see a Leftovers tick come out for Annihilate. And if Sinestra's here, it would be a great addition to bring to this game. Let's see if it's going to show up. If I had a nickel for every Team Sheet error my opponents had this tour, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. A lot of people are learning how to play, and Team Sheet errors are a big part of that experience. Oh, sorry, we have 2 minutes. Let's see. Alright. Nina the Pikachu is rooting on. You can do this, Max Uxie. Alright, Garchomp is going to Mega Evolve. It has the screens up. Annihilate is at low health, but it does have a screen up too. Garchomp's just gonna go for a Protect, saying, you know what, let's take it nice and slow. Dragon Claw comes out into Annihilate. It is enough to pick it up. Life Orb chip on Garchomp. Does this Farigiraf choose to go for a Trick Room? Does not. Fires off a Psychic into Garchomp. Okay. So Sinestro was here. Notably, Sinestro probably could have come in on the Garchomp spot to heal Annihilate up, and I have to imagine behind Reflect with those light leftover sticks, it probably would have been able to survive. But the thing is, though, is like maybe it's more important to have Sinestro next to Garchomp. So we'll have to see. This is Mega Garchomp. It is a scary Pokemon. If Trick Room can go up, it's going to be even scarier. Charizard is down. We don't know who Izzy's final Pokemon is. We see a Dragon Claw come out into Sinestro. It's not going to do too much damage. Garchomp's going to take more Life Orb chip for its troubles. And we're going to see an Earthquake come out from Garchomp. It's going to bring Garchomp down to 11%. Notably, that means that even with more... even with another attack, this Garchomp's not going to go down to its own Life Orb ticks. Me and my opponent just finished game 1. That's okay. Alright, Sunlight fades. Garchomp's still looking pretty healthy here. The only issue here, though, is, like, Dragon Claw is going to be not fun for Garchomp or Sinestro. There is a world where this Sinestro just chooses to go for either a Life Dew or a Machagacha, but the thing is like, this Farigiraf lowered the Sinestro special defense. I don't think it'll be able to take a double up even with the Reflect and Light Screen, so Earthquake plus Dragon Claw looks pretty dangerous here. Garchomp goes down to 1%. We see a Stomping Tantrum come out from Garchomp. It's not enough to remove Farigiraf. If Sinestro goes faster, it could be a big deal. Garchomp has full health. It gets a Life Dew off, which is going to put it probably out of the range from going down to Psychic. We'll have to see if the -1 does end up mattering. Trick Room goes up. That's actually huge. It also kind of, to me, says that my final Pokemon is probably Mawile, but we'll have to wait and see. Garchomp is going to underspeed the other Garchomp. The question, though, is, like, I think that Mega Garchomp, well, I guess it'll be intimidated. We'll have to see who will win in a fight, a Mega Garchomp or a non-Mega Mawile. There is always the chance that that final Pokemon is like a Basculegion, but like this to me is like if you're setting Trick Room, it's for a slower Pokemon, and Mawile is a slower Pokemon, so we'll have to see. Charizard's already Mega though. Alright, Sinestro is behind Light Screen. Garchomp goes for a Protect, says, you know what, I can wait another turn. I don't have to go attack right now. Farigiraf goes for a Psychic. It's into Sinestro. Sinestro does survive. What does Sinestro go for? Goes for a Life Dew, says, hey, let's take this nice and slow. We don't have to go down just yet. Oh, wow, makes it closer with Trick Room. I think a Machagacha would have been pretty difficult to deal with there, honestly. Okay, Earthquake is going to remove that Farigiraf. Actually, like, this is a kind of interesting situation because Garchomp is going to go down to its own life form, right? We already know that. Okay, the final Pokemon's Basculegion. That does change it in quite a big way. Machagacha looking very, very strong here. Also, Reflect is up. This is a... Let's see. This is a Citrus Berry Basculegion, so it's unlikely to go down in one hit. But the thing is like, Mega Garchomp is known for being a bulky Pokemon, and it's behind Reflect and Light Screen. I'm a Machagacha spammer. I think we all are Machagacha spammers deep down. Alright, Sinestro's getting the burn. Sinestro popping off, saying, you know what, I'm the better nighttime, I'm the better treat. Alchemy, you're fine, but man, I am delectable, I am desirable, and I can't be stopped. I'm a support Pokemon, I do the damage, and I also burn things. Alright, we see Citrus Berry goes off for Basculegion. That was tasty, tasty matcha. Last Respects comes out. Sinestro survives on 1%. This is the craziest Sinestro of all time. Earthquake comes out. Garchomp says, I don't need you. I want all the glory here. Bye-bye, Sinestro. Choosing to use Earthquake in order to make sure that Matcha Gotcha, even if it misses, will remove Garchomp. Basculegion with only 11% left and burned. I don't think it's got enough gas in the tank to take out this Garchomp. I think the Trick Room must have been anticipating a reverse Trick Room. No, I think the Trick Room was because the Basculegion's underspeeding the Garchomp. Now the burn making that not kill. That was crazy. OMG huge cup. Yeah, that was absolutely wild. Sinestro is the support Pokemon of all support Pokemon. Okay, I asked for hype matches and you guys are delivering, so thank you. Thank you. Alright. Now the question here, like, okay, it's got Reflect Up. In a world where this Garchomp, if it wasn't burned, and a crit would have done it there. Haha, I tanked it, Garchomp. Sinestro, haha, I tanked it. Garchomp, yeah, Garchomp's like, actually, I don't think you're gonna survive. Sorry, you're out of here. And Max Oopsie says, you know what, we're going to game 3. Oh, I have a judge issue I'm gonna resolve real quick. That was a fun one. Right, we're gonna pop back in. We're gonna see how they choose to shake it up. Right, oopsie. I think I closed the wrong tab. Yep. I can't seem to find a Sinestro in my recruits. Also used my ghost ticket, but no luck so far. It would open up some teams for me. I'm sorry, that's rough. Also, I need to turn my light on, but my dog is sleeping. That's a rough situation. A rough situation, if you will. All right, I'm gonna. You can stay there. I'm just gonna come back, right? We're just gonna. Here, I'll just carry. We're just turning the light. Dog cam. Alright, ready? I know, you're like, what's going on? You can always try making a trade in Pokemon Home. That is very true. My internet died a little. Sorry, one moment. They'll be back. Okay, cool. And just like that, they're back. Take it home yet again with another 2-1. Lost game 1, thought I was cooked. Nope. Ended up destroying in game 2 with a mix-up. And then clutched out his mix-up in game 3. Clutched out of his mix-up game 3. Well played, Shiny Macaroni. That's really cool to hear. Yeah, I could try. I connected home in Go so far. I could transfer some Mons from there already. I recommend it. I've transferred a lot of Pokemon. Pokemon says, hi, puppy. Hi, Haley. Haley is very involved in the stream. They're giving me emotional support. Haley is a therapy dog, so she's a professional at giving emotional support during during a tournament. Good luck, get that matcha, and sweep all opponents. Yeah, we're wishing you luck on getting the matcha gotcha. Honestly, we do need to shout out how cool both of these teams are. Like, we're like, oh, cool Alchemy and Mega Garchomp. But, like, Mawile Charizard is not a, like, combo you see very frequently. So, like, both players get a lot of points for creativity and strong teams. It's very cool to see. What is going on with the team on the right? They're cooking, apparently. They brought it to game 3. It's an Alchemy Mega Garchomp team. So it's cooking. Oh, she's so cute. You're so cute, Haley. Alright, so same leads from Max. Okay, we do see Whimsicott saying, you know what? I want speed control. And also, my Whimsicott's going to do great into your Garchomp. Only today evolved to Kirlia in Go to Galley. So I could transfer it to my team. Yeah, Galley's a really strong Pokemon. Notably, this Whimsicott might be the Pokemon that Izzy needs to bring the game home because it's really, really difficult for this Garchomp to remove. And also, like, if speed control goes in Izzy's favor, it's going to be really, really difficult for Max to just keep standing their ground with all this damage being thrown their way. Like, Fairy-type damage is good into the majority of Max's team. So we'll have to see how they adapted this. Also, if they choose to use Protect on something like this Annihilate, they're just going to get Encore, so you can't slow roll anymore. Alright, Charizard going to set the Sun with Drought. We do see Light Screen come out. Annihilate, unfortunately, cannot click Protect in this board state. We see a Moonblast come out, probably into into Grimmsnarl. It's going to be super effective damage. Grimmsnarl goes down to 48%. Followed by a Weather Ball into Grimmsnarl. There goes Grimmsnarl. If this Annihilate just went for a Rage Fist, it's going to do very little to no damage. The question is, though, did it go for Ice Punch? It goes for Rage Fist. We saw it one shot last time. This time, not so much. 2-0 after my second consecutive 3-game set with a Game 1 loss. Way to rally, Mudkip. Way to rally. All right. No protection allowed. Yeah, in front of Whimsicott, you can't click Protect very freely. And also, notably, like, are you going to bring in Mega Garchomp in front of this board? Are you going to bring in Sinestcha? It's going to be really, really difficult to navigate the situation. You can't Rage Powder away Encores either, so if we see Metagross as the adaptation here, Izzy wasn't going to fall twice. I guess not. We'll have to see how it plays out, though. This Metagross, notably, is probably going to outspeed because Metagross has a higher base speed than, Mega Metagross has a higher base speed than Charizard. So the question is, though, like, how are they going to navigate this? There is a world where Metagross clicks Protect. This, I guess Whimsicott can't get frozen by Ice Punch, and I think it's highly unlikely that, it gets taken out by a non-boosted Rage Fist. Thank you so much for the follow, MafoodZX. Alright, we do see Metagross chooses to Mega. There is a world where we do see... Oh, Annihilate says, you know what? I think I need to click Protect this turn. We see Tailwind come out, followed up by... I have to assume this is going to be a Heat Wave, right? Weather Ball into Metagross. Metagross, you're strong, but I don't think you're this guy. Unfortunately, that's why I didn't put Metagross in the S tier. It is a huge big ball of stats, but when the best Pokemon in the format is Charizard, it's really difficult to deal with. And also, since Annihilate chose to click Protect this turn, that's a turn where that Pokemon is locked down. It is getting encored into Protect. Whoever this last Pokemon is has to carry a lot of weight on their shoulders, and that last Pokemon is Sinestcha. So I think that this game is looking over with an Encore into Annihilate and a Weather Ball into Sinestcha. To me, this is looking like Izzy's punching their ticket for a second set win. I feel really bad because I saw today that you DM'd me forever ago on Twitter about my Zoroark team, but I never check my Twitter DMs like ever. Don't worry about it, dude. I didn't take it personally. I'm the same way with Twitter. But yeah, Zoroark is definitely a fun Pokemon, so. Because you ran the King Gambit Zoroark team, right? That's what was going on? Alright, Encore into Annihilate. That's going to be another Protect. Yeah, it's a sick team. It deserves all the props. Annihilate does not connect with the Protect, gets a failure. Weather Ball's going to come onto the Sinestcha. It's strong, but I don't think it's that strong. Bye-bye, Sinestcha. And just like that, Izzy finds the two Pokemon that are the perfect two to break down Max's team. Whimsicott choosing... Basically, Max was only able to get a non-boosted Rage Fist this turn, or this battle. And it's not like Max is a bad player. We watched Max play. He played phenomenally, or they played phenomenally. Sorry, don't want to use pronouns without asking. But yeah, like that's Pokemon. You can be a fantastic player, and sometimes you just get like a blowout like that. I will click Weather Ball because it is strong. True. You did your best, Max. Yeah, Max played it really well. Like, giving him a round of applause. Both players played that fantastically. A great set. Very fun to watch. And thank you so much for that highly entertaining Game 3 set. Like 3-game set. The Encore prank is always so annoying. True. There's a reason that Whimsicott is running Encore everywhere right now. Like, it is strong. Alright, we're waiting on one more match to... Actually, wait. Yeah, we're waiting on one more match to resolve. Again, it is Lit Luke versus Lexi. Also, Lit Luke is saying, like, last time Luke was like, I got the craziest team. So we're gonna have to check in and see how they're doing. You're okay. It's nothing. Alright, I'm entering the code. I'm very surprised both Metagross and Sinistcha dies through light screen. Yeah. I mean, Weather Ball is it's Weather Ball, right? It's not like you're hitting with like a... It's okay, that was Sammy. Don't bark. No, no. It's okay. Alright, we're jumping in. Oh, battle's over. Never mind. Looks like set 3 is already going. It's time... Oh, I'm gonna try one more time. Am I wrong? Is this set ongoing? Oh, you know what? I goofed. I told someone I was gonna watch their set for game... Oh, no, wait. Never mind. That was because they ran out of time. Who was it? I want to make sure that I'm getting the right person. That's for game 3, I believe. Yeah, Weather Ball is a heck of a move, right? I think it was, yeah, it was Rayentoche. So we're gonna see if Rayentoche's opponent shows up for this next game, because we drew their name through the random number generator last time. So we are going to start our next round of the tournament. We're going to round 3, baby. All right, round 3 is up. Or it should be. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. And we told Rayentoche we would check out their game. And they are up against Shiny Macaroni. The Shiny Macaroni has a team we've seen before. Or no, yeah. Shiny Macaroni has a team we've seen before. They were the Vanillix player we saw in game 1. And they are going to fight against a Swampert player, which is Rayentoche. So the thing to note, though, and part of the reason why I'm assuming they have this Vanillix on their team is to counter Mega Swampert. So I have to imagine we're going to see Ice Cream versus Swampert, or they have a Metagross, so maybe not. Two very strong players. They've both gone 2-0 this tournament, so it's going to be fun to watch this set. Let me see if I can pull up their teams real quick for you to watch, to see for your viewing pleasure. Let me get them on the stream while they're figuring out their stuff, so that way you guys can see everything. Hold on, switching over. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So this is Rayentoche's team. They've got Archaludon, Metagross, Swampert, Sinistcha, Pelipper, and Grimmsnarl. The nice thing with this Grimmsnarl is you can use Parting Shot to ensure that you always get the weather you want. No down pairs suck in this tour. I'm sorry. Sometimes you get a down pair. And you know what? It happens. Let's see. Let's see. Or unless you're saying, like, it stinks that there are none. And then the other team was Macaroni's team. We've seen Macaroni's team before. They are the Choice Scarf Vanillix player, and they also have Whimsicott. So, like, in a world where Swampert has Rain Up, they can still outspeed it with their Whimsicott, or with their Vanillix if they click Tailwind on Whimsicott. So there's going to be counterplay from both players. It's going to be fun to see how they choose to play this out. We're going to switch back, and we are going to watch their games now. I'm saying no, why me? Oh, I'm sorry. It has to happen to somebody, right? I don't know. And the thing with Pokemon, too, is, like, I feel like there are times where you get down paired and then you fight someone that's, like, really good. I remember at, I think it was NAIC, like, there were some, like, demons playing in, like, the, like, X2 bracket. Like, they went 0-2. And I was like, how? How are these two people at 0-2? Pokemon is not a very forgiving game, is what I'm trying to say. Mega Draglage, they might be the person that commented on my video and we're like, hey, Draglage is good, you're not respecting them enough. Sorry, we're making sure that they have their stuff figured out. Also, I'm sorry, I'm doing some judgy stuff. Dang, work called, so I was distracted last set, gotta lock in. You know what? It happens to the best of us. Okay, so Grimmsnarl is really difficult for Jackaroni to deal with. They can fake it out, but like it's gonna mitigate a lot of damage. This is Raichu Y, so it can get a lot of paralyses off. I can see a world where Sneasler comes. Vanillux feels like a really strong bring. I don't know if we see Swampert in this matchup. Metagross might just be that guy. Okay, so we see... The nice thing about this matchup with, for Jackaroni's side of the field is Archaludon's best move is Electro Shot, and as long as this Raichu doesn't Mega Evolve, it can just completely negate the use of that move. Raichu has an ability called Lightning Rod, which will redirect all electric moves towards it and make it do no damage and actually boost Raichu's special attack. So, like, Raichu might not choose to Mega Evolve for a little bit here. But also, I believe that this Raichu has Focus Blast. Let me double check. Okay, Archaludon saying, hey, I can't deal with Raichu yet. I want someone else to. And that Pokemon's going to be Swampert. We see a Fake Out come out from Raichu into Grimmsnarl, followed up by what from Whimsicott. Whimsicott's going to throw a Moonblast over Grimmsnarl's way. It's going to take a lot of damage because no screens have gone up yet. But, you know what? Swampert is in position. A Tailwind plus... Sorry, not Tailwind. Earthquake looking pretty nice right now into Raichu. It might be threatened to switch out. Also, this Grimmsnarl could pretty freely just click Parting Shot and bring it... Then Swampert will have Pelipper at its side, which would be pretty nice for this Pokemon. But at the same time, it's like, if Vanillux comes in, it's going to be a big problem for Swampert to deal with. Also, this Raichu can throw damage pretty freely into either slot, whether it's with a... Let me check to make sure. Let me check. Whether it's with a... Yep, Zap Cannon or Focus Blast. Zap Cannon won't affect Swampert, but it'll do the job. It'll finish off this Grimmsnarl. Alright, Raichu chooses to Mega Evolve here. Swampert also saying, you know what, it's time to Mega Evolve. If this Whimsicott does not click Tailwind, then... I was going to say, this Raichu's going to underspeed the Swampert. Choosing to go for Tailwind, then followed up by a Light Screen from Grimmsnarl. Okay. That's going to reduce the damage coming out from this Raichu. Raichu's just going to choose to use Zap Cannon and remove Grimmsnarl from the field. Alright, Grimmsnarl goes down. What move does Swampert choose to go for? Goes for Ice Punch, says, hey, I need to do damage into this Whimsicott. Whimsicott down to 2%. Looking like milk. Alright, and now both Pokemon are in range of Earthquake, but the thing is this Whimsicott can just click Encore into Swampert and force it to use a move that's kind of underwhelming. We could also see the return of Archaludon. There are a lot of questions at play already. Alright, we do see Archaludon comes back. I think a Focus Blast, depending on how this Raichu is trained, it is a timid Raichu, might just be enough to pick up Archaludon. I have to imagine that we're oh, actually, you know what? Light Screen's up, so I don't think so. I think we'll have to see a double up in that case. There is also a world where Pelipper switches in here and Archaludon chooses to get an Electro Shot off now that it can't be diverted into Raichu's Lightning Rod ability. But that seems like a pretty ambitious play, especially knowing that Tailwind's up and there is most likely an Ice Cream Cone in the back that's ready to do some big damage. Alright. We do see a Protect come out from Archaludon. Let's see how these players choose to play it out from here. Followed up by an Encore from Whimsicott into Swampert. Swampert must do an Encore. There are no choices. Focus Blast does come out. Do they choose to Ice Punch this Raichu is my big question. Ice Punch goes into Whimsicott, says, hey, you've encored too many things. Your time is done. A critical hit. Down goes Whimsicott. And the question is, who comes in next? I kind of think we're likely to see a Ice Cream Cone, but you know what? Incineroar is a perfectly valid option as well. Alright. The Fake Out is on the board. Swampert is intimidated and locked into Ice Punch. I would not be surprised to see Swampert switch out here, or Incineroar to just fake out this Archaludon, saying, you know what, your -1 Ice Punch isn't really doing it, Chief. A really ambitious play this Raichu could make a Zap cannoning into this Swampert spot, because it's highly likely that Pelipper comes in. Let's see, do they choose that option, though? It started to rain. Get rid of the applause. Focus Blast comes out into Archaludon. We do not see a Fake Out at all. Instead, it's probably going to be a parting shot from this Incineroar. We see, and never mind a Flare Blitz. They want to double this Archaludon. They're like, hey, this guy's a problem. Let's get rid of him right now. Burn into the Archaludon. That's going to make it so that those leftover ticks will not be adding up. Incineroar takes very little damage. Electroshot does fire off. That's going to be decent chip into both Pokemon. Or sorry, into one of these Pokemon. Unfortunately, this is also a Citrus Berry Pelipper, so it is heavily threatened by this Raichu. In a world where they can get in a world where Pelipper can get in safely, and the rain is up, I can see the Swampert finishing the game off, but unfortunately, it's really, really difficult for Rain to navigate this situation. Because, like, yeah, you could Zap Cannon into the Pelipper spot and completely blow it up. If Swampert comes in, it could be a huge problem. But there's still at least one more turn of Tailwind. This is kind of the decisive turn. If Rain can find a way to keep the Rain active after the Tailwind ends, it's looking like it's probably going to be their game to win. But the thing is, with no Protect on this Pelipper and Archaludon not long for this world, it's going to be really difficult to navigate. Especially because with Incineroar still alive, or still non-fainted, this Vanillix can switch in and out, so it's not over. Alright, we do see Archaludon chooses to switch out. Pelipper can't Protect. What is our... Okay, Raichu goes for the Protect. An interesting play, to say the least. And Tailwind comes out. Things are looking quite good now. A very bold play to Tailwind in the face of this Raichu. But the thing is like, Vanillix is on the board, Swampert doesn't have Rain, and it is susceptible to being intimidated this turn. I think it's highly likely we see a combination of Freeze Dry plus Intimidate come out from this Incineroar, and then it's going to come down to Archaludon to finish the job. And we've already seen how much damage that Pokemon took. And if Swampert chooses to click Protect this turn, they're just going to get faked out next turn by the Incineroar. Alright, Swampert does just choose to go for Protect. We see a Focus Blast fire away, followed by a Blizzard. I think that a safer play for Jackaroni to make in that situation was if they just went for Freeze Dry into Swampert plus a attack into Pelipper, they would have been in a really commanding position. Even a Focus Blast would have been a pretty good play, because it's highly likely that Pelipper switches out to get the Rain back up. But, like, as long as you're exerting offensive pressure, you can choose to get the... You get, like, if Jackaroni removed a singular Pokemon, they won't be able to pivot around anymore. Incineroar is a great Pokemon to pivot around. And, basically, they're now in this weird compromised position where it's like, yeah, I can switch my Ice Cream Cone out, but I'm going to have to take a lot of damage on my Incineroar or my Raichu for my troubles. Let's see what the players choose to do here. Alright. I have to imagine we probably see... Oh, you know what? There was a Tailwind on Rain side of the field. That's why they were choosing to play it slower. Let's see. Okay, we see an Intimidate come out. This is probably going to be either a big Wave Crash or a big Earthquake. The question is, can Raichu survive a -1 Earthquake from Swampert? And it cannot. That's a double KO. Down goes Raichu. Down goes Incineroar. And with just a double scoop left, can this Pokemon take home the victory? Notably, this Pelipper does have Wide Guard, so if you lock into Blizzard, you're going to be locked out of attacking. There is, I believe, one last turn of Tailwind. This is the final turn of Tailwind. It is going to have to take 2 attacks for its trouble here. But Freeze Dry should be able to pick up either Pokemon, so it could just be a read. I don't think Swampert is going to pick up Vanillix with a -1 and Snow Boost, so this Ice Cream Cone might have enough juice in the tank to take this game. Because Snow actually boosts the the physical defense of all Ice-type Pokemon, so it's looking quite good for Vanillix here. And since Pelipper can't click Protect, it's highly likely that you could just click Freeze Dry into Pelipper this turn and then heavily threaten that Swampert next turn with another Freeze Dry. Also, we see even with Tailwind up, Freeze Dry does come out. Choice Scarf Vanillix will outspeed Pelipper because this is a bulky Pelipper. And just like that, the reason why this Pokemon is on the team is to remove the Swampert and remove the Pelipper, and it looks like it's going to do the job that it was destined to do. Can Swampert survive one Freeze Dry and deliver a mighty Wave Crash back in return? We do see Freeze Dry come out. Swampert does survive. Wave Crash comes back. It's -1. Is it enough? The Vanillix survives, and the Swampert's probably going to take itself out. Yep, and that's the end of game 1. Well played by both players. You know what? I was giving constructive criticism to Jackaroni, but it looks like Jackaroni's got it. I shouldn't have counted my eggs before they hatched there. You know what? Worst case scenario, like, even if my advice wasn't the advice that was needed to get the game win, it's something Jackaroni can think about. I also don't think I was considering the Tailwind, so that's probably a big part of it. Alright, Macaroni needs to step away. I'm assuming there's a bathroom break involved or something, so... Oh, so thirsty. Doing all this talking. What tourney is this? This is the Pokepal Smackdown tournament. We do it every Monday at 7:30 Eastern. So, you're on YouTube. I can drop it on YouTube. Let's see. It might be in the description, actually. Actually, I think, yeah, I put the Discord in the description. If you ever want to join, 7:30 Eastern time, we do Pokemon. It's a VGC tournament. It's 5 rounds, so nobody gets eliminated. The whole goal of this tournament is to help new players grow. So if you want to join, if you've never played Pokemon VGC before, great tournament to start with. Also, I want to see how the Mega Dragalge team is doing. Five round Swiss every week. Yep. No top cut. We just do 5 round Swiss. Usually gets out around 10 or 11. Depending on if the games go slow or fast. Well, now that I won, there should be 3 straight down pairs. We'll have to see. Let's see. Okay. Also, this is set 3 of our tournament. We're currently, like, about halfway through. I'd say we're at the exact halfway point right now. Well, now that I won... Oh, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, they're back. They've been battling. I need to read. Okay, let's see. They've only been battling for a minute. Unless an XO drops, there will be down pairs. Yeah. That's the nature of the biz. Also, Haley, I'm gonna remove this blanket because I don't know about you, but I'm cooking. You wanna do dog cam? Hey, hi, Haley. 500 pair downs. Haley's literally just sitting like a human right now. We're vibing. Alright, so we saw Swampert and Pelipper were strong Pokemon, but they weren't able to bring it home in this game. Metagross looks really good in Vanillux, but the thing is like, Metagross does not want to see Incineroar. The thing to note, though, is sometimes you need to bring your Mega Pokemon and choose not to Mega them. This Metagross might be the Pokemon you need to bring in order to remove that Vanillux. To my round 3 opponent, how dare you question me saying well played to you? Do not discount yourself. Only I can say my play was bad. Only I can say my... I don't understand. It seems like there's a lot of heat coming off of that one. Alright, Grimmsnarl and Pelipper. Okay. This time opting to bring Pelipper in, saying, hey, I might be able to just remove Whimsicott really early if I do damage to it and I get control of the weather. Also, just saying, you know what, you brought Raichu last time, maybe you'll bring Raichu again this time, I don't know. I'm aggressively uplifting them. Okay, good. I know, I had faith in you. You've always been a positive member of our community, so... only I can say my play was bad. Yes. Well, I just thought I was reading it like they said your play was bad. I was like, I hope not. Okay, so Whimsicott Sneasler lead here. Sneasler notably has Fake Out most of the time. Let me double check to make sure that is the case here. This Sneasler is Fake Out, Close Combat, Dire Claw. Alright, we do see the return of Vanillux. Alright, we see Fake Out from Sneasler saying, hey Pelipper, you're not doing anything this turn, buddy. We see a light screen go off. I wouldn't be surprised to see Pelipper switch out and then a Parting Shot come out to bring our Pelipper right back in. The question is, though, what do these Pokemon trainers choose to do? A Parting Shot would be guaranteed into the Vanillux spot because it cannot click Protect unless Incineroar comes in, because Incineroar would block it because it is Dark type and Prank Spin do not work on it. Unfortunately, though, Archaludon is going to pop into this game. We do... I don't know why it does, unfortunately. We see both screens are up. We see a Freeze Dry come out from this Vanillux, doing a hefty amount of damage into this Archaludon. I was going to say, that's behind the screen, but that's a critical hit. We see a Dire Claw followed up into Grimmsnarl. It's going to do over half. Both Pokemon are hurting after this turn. And notably, that Sneasler can't be slowed down because it has a White Herb. So Parting Shot will work into it, but it won't do much. Hey Parker, my opponent had a team sheet error. It says Kenai Pelipper, not Drizzle, but I told them as long as they inform their future opponent about it before they're starting, they're fine, right? Did I get that right? Yeah, as long as they tell their opponents, that's A-okay. Is it reported? Do I need to come in there, or are you good? Dang, I got 2 streams. Let's go. Yeah, I guess this is the macaroni stream. Alright, we see Whimsicott come right back in. We see a Parting Shot fire off into Sneasler, but this Sneasler has a White Herb, so really this is just boosting Sneasler's stats. It's gonna boost its speed to +2 now, and its damage will not be mitigated. The question, though, is can Sneasler's Close Combat pick up Archaludon at half with Reflect? I think the answer is gonna be it's Reflect plus Reflect plus a +1 on the stamina boost. I don't think Archaludon's going down depending on how it's trained, but I do think it's going to be hurting. I think we see... Oh, okay, we do see that there's an adaptation. Swampert's not coming to this game. This time it is Metagross. The Close Combat fires off into Archaludon. It does take it quite well. And by quite well, I mean it's not down yet. We see a Flash Cannon fire out into Whimsicott. That's going to be solid damage. Whimsicott hangs on at 1%. And now Metagross is just kind of chilling here. Honestly, if this Metagross had Bullet Punch, it would be in a really, really commanding position right now, but unfortunately, I don't think it does. Let's double check. No, this is an Iron Head Metagross, so There is a world where you choose not to Mega your Metagross here if you think that there is an Incineroar in the back, because Metagross has the Clear Body ability, which means that it is going to be immune to Intimidate. And as soon as it Megas, it gets the Tough Claws ability for an amp to its damage. But the thing is like, do you need an amp yet? If you're attacking into an Incineroar, maybe, but like, I don't know. It might be worth just holding off, because Psychic Fangs will pick up Sneasler, and Iron Head will definitely pick up the Whimsicott. 130 defense stat goes nuts. That's true. Defense. That is so true. All right, we see Sneasler chooses to protect here. What do we see Whimsicott choose to do? We see a Moonblast fired off into Archaludon. Probably gonna be enough, but Light Screen is up. Archaludon goes down. What do we see this Metagross choose to do in this situation? It's the Psychic Fangs into Sneasler, but because it protects, it's actually not going to be effective. And now that Metagross has Mega Evolved, if Incineroar is in the back, it's going to be that much harder to deal with. And Whimsicott also gets to get away with another turn of being everyone's, favorite and least favorite little gremlin. Alright, there's a lot of questionable things that could happen this turn. This Whimsicott has Moonblast, Taunt, Encore, and Tailwind. Notably, it cannot taunt this Grimmsnarl, but it could taunt this Metagross and block it from using any of its attacks, or any of its non-attacking attacks. We see a Parting Shot intended to go into Sneasler, go into Incineroar. Instead, it's going to keep this Grimmsnarl on the field. It's going down to down to the Moonblast. A critical hit. Things are not looking good for Rain here. Is it a Psychic Fangs? Another Psychic Fangs, but this time it's into Incineroar. And since it chose to Mega Evolve, it's actually going to get its stats reduced too. That's why I was saying it might be good to hold on to that Mega just a little bit longer. Queer Crocodile says they love their Puffball. Alright, now the question is like, how are we going to deal with this Incineroar? We have the Ice Cream Cone in the back. I wouldn't be surprised to see Whimsicott switch out, bring the Ice Cream Cone in so that Flare Blitz is going to do bigger damage. And also, Pelipper won't be able to freely click Weather Ball into it anymore. I have to think that that's probably going to be the play that Jackaroni chooses to make here, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, this game is not over. There is a Mega Metagross still in play here. Alright, we do see Whimsicott switch out. I am betting that this is an Ice Cream Cone. We see Vanillux enter the battlefield. Followed up by, is this a fake out? A parting? Oh, we see Stomping Tantrum. This is -1 Metagross. But look at, if they held on to their Mega, it would have KO'd. Instead, they're going to have to deal with this Incineroar that's going to fire off a big attack. What is it? It's Flare Blitz. Is this going to pick up? It's not going to pick up, but that's a lot of damage that you didn't have to take. And a burn! So to all my Mega Metagross players out there, make sure if you think that, like, if you don't need to take the KO, if you don't need Tough Claws to take a KO, just hold on, just wait. I guess the idea is like, hey, if I have more defense, I don't have to worry as much about Sneasler, but you're behind Reflect. And you're Psychic type. Because now this game just got so much harder for Rain. So I don't think that Metagross, especially while burned, has enough gas in the tank to take care of a Sneasler, a Whimsicott, and a Vanillux. Because this Vanillux, realistically, is probably firing off a Freeze Dry into Pelipper this turn. It's going to outspeed it, and then Whimsicott, like, can click Taunt and say, hey, you can't protect. It can click Moonblast for Chip. It's just a lot of damage. I've done that with my Hyper Cutter Mawile before too. If something is in range anyway, then there's no need to Mega. Yeah, it's kind of a more advanced play to make, and it's something you do once you feel more and more comfortable with a team. Alright, so Pelipper, honestly, if that Incineroar didn't burn, it might be a little bit different of a game. I still think it probably, like, Sneasler can probably pick up Metagross at this range. It's just, actually, you know what, really what it boils down to is, do we think Metagross could 3v1 the team if it had full health? And I think the answer is probably yes. Alright, we see Freeze Dry come out. Teleport goes down. It is extremely effective. Moonblast fired off. Who does Metagross choose to pick up this time? 36 down to 24. It can take more of those, but I don't think it can take the follow-ups from both the Vanillix and the... Oh, and because you're burned plus the snow, it's not enough to pick up. Unfortunately, this Metagross, which is looking like a Titan, just cannot deliver the win. All these Pokemon at 1%, at 9%, at 18%. This game is looking over. Well played to both players, but ultimately Jackaroni and their Vanillix are probably going to be able to bring this one home. Because that Freeze Dry is actually going to just bring it down to range where this Moonblast will pick it up. Yep. And that is game. Well played. Honestly, so close. The difference, I think, was the fact that they Mega to turn late, and also, like, the Psychic Fangs into the Incineroar was difficult. Again, we see, like, Metagross is a really strong Pokemon, but it's really in a tough spot. When Incineroar and Charizard are kind of the best Pokemon in the format, it's difficult for that Pokemon to deliver on its, like, impressive stat spread. It did take a lot of hits, and it did get burned, and Rain did play it really well, but ultimately, it was not enough for Metagross to bring it home. Like, here's what I have to say about Metagross. I think it's a really strong Pokemon, but as of right now, it feels like a Pokemon that you have to play well, not a Pokemon that plays well for you. Like, there's been games where I watch Mega Charizards just click Heat Wave and blow up the field, and it's like, how do you respond to me? That's an S-tier Pokemon. Metagross is very strong, has a lot of really strong tools, but currently is not that busted. Alright, we are going to check out Alex P versus Jantalopes. If this is ongoing, let's see. My set was that Charizard set. Yeah, that was kind of on my mind. That game 3. Metagross is the newer, better Scissor. Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. Okay. Parker, how would you build Furfrou as a support mon? Does it get tell me if it doesn't get Thunder Wave, I am going to cry for you. Oh my gosh, Ditto survives at 1%. What are we tuning into here? Ditto's paralyzed, so it might be unable to move. Ditto uses Thunderbolt back. Is it the Battle of the Giraffes? Oh my god, please paralyze. Okay, no. That, like, I wish we watched whatever happened here. Holy cow, what is this? Unfortunately, it is not a speed tie because Frigorith paralyzed Ditto. He says, I'm not the imposter. I'm not going to lose here. I'd prefer to have Scissor TBH because it isn't weak to Kingambit and Garchomp and Vasculation. True, Izzy. Those are all true. Scissor has less stats overall, has a better bullet punch. Metagross, it has a bad matchup into most Pokemon, but it's just like the explosive Pokemon. Okay, so that is, there are 2 sets remaining. Expert Belt Coverage Mon, that is like a C tier Mon, that is how you play Furfrou. C tier is very generous for Furfrou. Hold on, we're gonna pull up Furfrou while we're waiting for the last games to finish up. Let's see, we're pulling up Furfrou. Furfrou gets T-Wave, Helping Hand. Oh, also the camera's right in the way of the screen, so that's annoying. Let's see, camera. Am I not spelling Furfrou right? Oh, there he is. He's illegal. He's illegal. Don't trust him. Let's see. Okay, he's got no moves. I'm just kidding. Okay, so obviously I'd run him Fur Coat. Is that his only ability? I mean, it's a good ability, so that's good. Hi, I'm Rain. What were the odds of Metagross burning me both times? Metagross burning you is 0 because Metagross can't burn things, but Metagross getting burned is not likely. But it's knockoff boosted. Knockoff isn't technician boosted, but it's knockoff boosted. Yeah, true. Okay, Furfrou, I think, gosh, this Pokemon needs a lot of love. Oh, it has Cotton Guard. Maybe you just run it as this unkillable thing. Roar, Thunder Wave. It's just baby doll eyes, helping hand, rain. It gets Rain Dance. Rain Dance on a rain team, like they're not gonna see that coming. If this is a ladder Pokemon, Round, Snarl, Sunny Day, I think that you run Furfrou as like this really weird support mon. Like put Furfrou on like a Charizard team, have it no Sunny Day. They're not ready for it. You go, all right, here's like you switched in Pelipper. I click Hardcast Sunny Day. Like I'm not gonna tell you it's good, but you're gonna trick one person and you're gonna feel really good. That's what kind of mon Furfrou is. So I'm used the translate. Sorry, haha. No worries. I was just teasing. There's nothing wrong with what you did. All right. Also, we have 17 out of 19 matches completed. What's still ongoing? It is Max Uzi versus Nate. Let's pop in and see if their game is still ongoing. I'm going to use the buttons to switch to my Switch. I mean, that Instant Rush Flare Blitz will burn my Metagross twice. I know. What are the odds? I think it's like 10% 2 times, which is like, it's like sub 1%, I'm pretty sure. But that's the game we play. Sometimes you just get really, really unlucky. Blech. 8417 2532. 2 Flare Blitz burns off 2 Flare Blitz has a 1% chance. Yeah, that sounds about accurate. Alright, we're spectating. Are we gonna enter another, like, Fretgraph Thunderbolt battle where there's just, like, the most crazy situation and we're like, how did we get here? Because I feel like that's about to happen. Oh, never mind. Oh, it's, like, in the middle of the set. Okay, so it is a Delphox team versus, this is Max Uxie. We've watched their game before. Ooh, looks like Grimmsnarl switched in on the correct Psychic. They are the Mega Garchomp player. Big Rage Fist coming out from Annihilate. Sinestro lives at 1. What is it with Sinestro living at 1 this tournament? And it's a critical hit. That Annihilate must not be boosted up. Does Delphox have any boost? They are at +2. I have to imagine that this Grimmsnarl is probably going to click Light Screen, which means that this Annihilate is definitely going to survive a Heat Wave if it comes their way. There is a world... Oh, okay. We just see Annihilate Protect saying, you know what, I don't have to rush this. We see Light Screen come out. What does Sinestro choose to do here is the question. We see another Psychic. Just going for the slow roll. Strength Sap says, hey, Grimmsnarl, give me some of that. I want to get back to full health. Grimmsnarl's attack falls. Sinestro just goes right back up to full. Well, I mean, it's 96, but it's essentially full. But what if it's Psyshock? If this is Psychic, it's not Psyshock. Okay, so I think at +2, even behind Light Screen, that Annihilate is going down. We see another Rage Powder. I don't think that you even need to attack Annihilate. Based on how much Rage or the move did last time, you could probably just click Nasty Plot again. I think if you protect Ape, then you need to take out the Sinestro with Grimmsnarl. I agree. I think that would be the more correct play. But I think that they might not have read it that it had that move. We see Psychic come out. It is going to obliterate this Annihilate. But I think that the correct play there is actually that you just click Nasty Plot, because we saw that it didn't pick up last time, and the bigger threat to your Delphox is this Garchomp. And the annoying thing is, like, yeah, I think that what we're going to see here is, well, I guess Sinestro's kind of just free, right? Sinestro can just click Rage Powder and redirect Decorates. But this Delphox is probably in range of a Rock Slide. Does this Garchomp have it? I'm almost positive it does. Yeah, so I think we're going to see... Okay, it's just Protect. Maybe Life Dew. Just another Protect. Does Decorate go through Protects? Oh, this is Mystic Fire Alchemy. We see a Life Dew come out. Secret Goggles Alchemy. True. Delphox gets back up to 94. Decorate comes out. It does go through Protect. That Rock Slide is about to cook. That's a Light Screen Garchomp. I don't think it's going down to a singular attack. I think it's going down to 2. I think you could do Psychic plus Machagacha, and it might get you there. But it's going to be a close endgame here. Everything that's not a Garchomp is a Fairy type, so that Sneasler is looking quite good in the back. My Cinderella run ends early, down to 2-1, but not upset about how I lost. Hey, it's not over. Alright, Psychic connects into Garchomp. It's going to bring it down to 28%. I honestly don't even think that that's going to be enough. I think that Rock Slide's going to pick up, and then there's going to be a follow-up Mystic Fire, so I don't think Sinestcha's going to deliver. We're going to see Garchomp do what Garchomp was built to do. And then, oh, flinch. Even worse for this team. Here comes the Gleam. Sinestcha down to 23%. Notably, Sneasler is a very fast Pokemon, and it might be able to deal with what's in front of it here. Oh, and also a King Gambit. Didn't even think about that. Yes, it's always 5 rounds of Swiss. Okay, so there was a King Gambit in the back. All right, this Alchemy Garchomp duo is looking like it's gonna be pretty difficult for this King Gambit. The thing is, like, Earthquake is almost certainly gonna pick up King Gambit at +2, right? The question, though, is will King Gambit take out a Garchomp? It looks like only Light Screen's up, not Reflect. I'd have to say King Gambit's probably going to get the KO as long as Reflect doesn't go up. Sneasler comes in. I think the idea here is like, hey, if I'm careful, I can get into position here and I can get what I want. Knowing that they have to go for Sucker Punch, this Alchemy says, hey, I'm just going to get Dazzling Gleam. All right, Dazzling Gleam connects on both. Garchomp is going to underspeed this Sneasler. Does this King Gambit have access to Iron Head? It does not. It's low kick King Gambit with black glasses and Sucker Punch and Kowtow. So maybe this Alchemy can find a way to win this game. We'll have to see. The Sneasler is at 53%. It can take at least one more Dazzling Gleam. We'll have to see if it can take another one. All right, Grimmsnarl switches in. We see a Fake Out come out into Alchemy. Sucker Punch from the King Gambit. All right, choosing to protect their Garchomp. Honestly, a really strong play for them. We see Light Screen has 2 more turns available, but all the Pokemon that are left outside of Sinestcha are physical attackers. The other thing to note is, like, this Sinestcha is going to do a really good job of keeping these Pokemon healthy, like King Gambit. I think that we're most likely going to see a Reflect from Grimmsnarl, but the question is like, where is Sneasler going to attack? Because, like, I think a Dire Claw, even through Protect, is going to remove this Alchemy at this range. And now that we've seen that the Sneasler's it's gone and gotten healed, it's probably going to survive anything that the Alchemy chooses to do. All right, Reflect is going to connect, or Reflect is going to go up. Where does Sneasler target? Is a Dire Claw into Grimmsnarl, calling that Alchemy might click Protect here. Alchemy instead goes for a Dazzling Gleam. It's going to be enough to remove Sinestcha. There are only 2 Pokemon left. Can Maxoxy bring it home with this Mega Garchomp, Grimmsnarl, and Decorate Alchemy team? Alright, we see King Gambit returns to the battlefield, looking pretty healthy here. Alright, Alchemy is at 84%, but there is a Reflect. It's gonna be a very close one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sneasler click Protect here, because if King Gambit and Sneasler can make it to the end game, like, it's gonna look pretty difficult for Maxoxy to win, because even though Grimmsnarl resists dark moves, its only attack is Spirit Breaker, which is going to lower this King Gambit's special attack, which is going to boost its physical attack by 2 stages. So we're going to have to see how these Pokemon trainers really navigate this one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Parting Shot from Grimmsnarl go off into into Sneasler. Yeah, that way this is going to probably keep the Alchemy healthy. Hello, Dark Force. Glad to see you. Okay, actually, you know what? I take it back. This is a White Herb Sneasler, so now it is going to be even faster. It didn't matter, though, because it was already the fastest Pokemon in the game, like here, currently. Hello, Dark Force. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. All right, Dire Claw comes out. It's going to come out into Alchemy. It does survive at 33%. No status on this Dire Claw. Here comes another Dazzling Gleam. The support Pokemon kind of being the hard carry here at the end. Sinestcha's healing really showing how strong it can be. But the thing is like, they're so close yet so far here. Like, one more Dire Claw will remove Alchemy. King Gambit is at 45%. It can just click Sucker Punch very freely. Oh, both trainers are really, really close to an end game. It's gonna come down to calling reads correctly, protects. Garchomp goes for Protect. I don't know if I love that play. I think Garchomp is kind of just a sitting duck here. I think that getting Grimmsnarl in is probably more valuable, even if it's at the expense of Garchomp going down. We see Kingambit go for a Sucker Punch, and it's almost certainly going to be a Dire Claw into Alcremie. I honestly think that going for Earthquake plus Protect on Alcremie is probably a better play there, because now you're still locked in the same board state, right? Like, Sneasler's still at 5%. It's still alive, and they're like, now you're susceptible to having both Pokemon go down. I guess there's a world where you click Protect on Garchomp again, saying, hey, I know for a fact I'm not going to get targeted this turn by Sucker Punch. Instead, we see Dire Claw go into Alcremie, and that's going to be the end of Alcremie. But basically what I was trying to say is, like, a turn where you can get Grimmsnarl in is probably better than a turn where you just burn your Protect on Alcremie. Because, like, Grimmsnarl might be the Pokemon that can get us to the end game. I guess we do see Garchomp with a fresh Protect here. Grimmsnarl is... Both Pokemon are in range, though. Like, I think Grimmsnarl's going down to a Dire Claw, and I think Garchomp's going down to a Sucker Punch. I guess there's a world where you can't even Parting Shot the Kingambit. Grimmsnarl only has screens. I don't think that there's, like... On the off chance this Garchomp can survive a Sucker Punch and this Grimmsnarl can survive a Dire Claw, there's a chance, but I think that Max Uxie, I don't know if they could find their line. Let's see if it can survive. It cannot. Down goes Grimmsnarl, and now Garchomp has to take 2 attacks for its trouble. Sinestros Healing showing its worth with Sneasler surviving at 5%, making it so that Max Uxie cannot find the perfect line to secure this game, but dang oh dang was it close. Also, Sneasler's got weird feet now that I look at him. Like, it's got, like, weird little Ugg boots. Like, little tufts on the back of the foot. Alright, Sucker Punch comes out. Garchomp, even with Reflect, cannot survive. And that's going to be the end of our last game of set number 3. Alrighty. Alright, and we are going to close out of set number 3, and we are going to go to... Let's see. I want to make sure that I am reading this correctly. Okay. Oh. Yes, they won. Okay, cool. That was reported correctly. Parting Protect. Potentially, but then Grimmsnarl would have gone down. You can't Parting Shot. Why are you looking at his feet? I don't know. It zoomed in on his feet. It was a weird angle. All right, we are going into round number 4. All right, round 4 is up. Okay, cool. All right, Izzy is currently fighting against Braz BR. Shiny Macaroni, the person that keeps ending up on our stream, is currently number 1 seed. I'm going to pull up the standings real quick, and we're going to pop in on one of these games. So let's switch over. Whoop! All right, cool. All right, so for everyone to see... Let's see. Shiny Macaroni currently is our number 1 seed. It's this Vanillix that's been going absolutely crazy on this tournament run, followed by Dr. Fiso, who's got a Charizard Whims Mamoswine team. Maybe that Pokemon is a little slept on. Then we got another Whimsicott team, but instead of having a Mamoswine or a Glamora, they have Garchomp and Floette and Kingambit. So next up, we got a Delphox, Garchomp, Floette team. Izzy's rocking the Charizard Mawile team. Queer Crocodile's rocking the Charizard Hydreigon Sylveon team. Dom's got a Trick Room plus Torkoal. Is this a Mega Garchomp, or is this just saying, you know what, Megas are not necessary? It is Mega Garchomp. Okay, maybe it's the rise of Mega Garchomp. Maybe he's been slept on for too long. And then Ben is rocking the Floette plus Charizard team as well. Let's see, I want to see, is Dragalge doing all right? I don't see him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I was rooting for him, but I don't see him. Dragalge is 1-2 currently. But you know what? It's never too late. All right, we do have a match issue. Okay. I don't know why one player specifically doesn't have a check-in button, so we're just making sure they're taken care of. I'm going to use the random number generator. We currently have 15 pairings because there is one buy. So let's do a random number generator. 1 through... I feel like it's gonna be, the way things have gone, it's ended on Shiny Macaroni's game every single time. In the interest of fairness, I think we're gonna do anyone but Shiny Macaroni, because I don't think we can watch them every single game. Like, they've been playing well, but we gotta make sure someone else gets a turn. It's gonna be Nathan 2B versus Chill if they're here. It looks like they are, so that's gonna be our set. Alright, let's see. We're gonna pop in over there. Yo, can you look at my team and give feedback? Sure. Where's your team? What is your team? Gotta buy. Let's see. 8, 7, 6, 8 Mega Gengar. Okay, I'll check it out in just a second. Let me get into this game real quick. I'm gonna check out in between games. Oh, looks like there was no room. 8, 7. Just remind me when this game ends and we'll check it out, okay? 1, 0, 5, 6. Of course. We're here to... Why is this not working? Oh, they punched the wrong code in. Let's see. 8, 7, 6, 8. And by them, I mean I did, because there was a typo, and I didn't see that there was a typo. All right, cool. I'm taking a look at it, too. Obviously can't see IVs. Only real question here is why protect Will-O-Wisp, Scarf, Rotom? In other things, how does the team feel? Yeah, generally people don't use Protect on Scarfmons. It does happen on occasion, but it's not super likely because you don't want to be locked into Protect. Alright, so Nathan VGC clearly has a very interesting team. They have Primarina. Is this a Mega Scrafty? Ooh, Mega Scrafty, Life Orb, Ceruledge, so it's not a setup one. It does have Will-O-Wisp though. Colberberry, Fergraph with Psychic, Helping Hand, Trick Room, and Thunderbolt, Mega Scissor, and a Light Clay Abomasnow. Very cool. And then Chill is rocking White Herb Mimikyu with Play Rough, Shadow Sneak, and Shadow Claw, Citrus Berry Rotom with Wisp and Hydro Pump. In Thunderbolt, this is a Roost Corviknight with Bulk Up, Brave Bird, and Tailwind. Tyranitar has Mega Tyranitar with Knockoff, Rock Slide, Low Kick, and Protect. Sash Excadrill with the standard stuff. And this is a Scarf Hydreigon with Draco Meteor, Snarl, Dragon Pulse, and Heat Wave. Okay, so looking at this board state, right now this Primarina is looking pretty free to just use a big Fairy attack in... Actually, wait, let's really look at it. Rotom is really threatening this Primarina. Notably, I don't think Primarina would go down to a singular Thunderbolt. Usually they've got enough bulk to survive them. Hydreigon is threatening this Fergraph, but it's looking like this Fergraph's going to be pretty free to just set up Trick Room. This Rotom does not have access to a pivoting move, so it's going to be staying in. We do see a Hydro Pump come out. The idea is like, hey, if we double this Fergraph, maybe we'll be able to get rid of it. But that's not the case. Trick Room is going to go up. Fergraph's going to take a lot of damage for its trouble. And Primarina and Fergraph are kind of now just able to throw off big attacks. A Fairy move would almost certainly remove this this Hydreigon, and this Fergraph can use Thunderbolt to do damage to this, what's this called? This Rotom. Instead, they've opted to just throw in the Abomasnow, saying, hey, I think that we can get some big grass damage in a second here. Moonblast does connect with this Hydreigon. It is going to remove it from the battlefield. Bye-bye, Hydreigon. You did your job of doing some damage into Fergraph, but not enough. We're going to see a Thunderbolt probably into this Primarina. I don't think it's going to pick up. No, it does not. Primarina does survive and does eat its Citrus Berry. It won't be able to take another one of those, but it's at least here for another turn. This, also notably, this Abomasnow does have the ability to set Aurora Veil, so it's kind of threatening in both an offensive and defensive capacity. Notably, its only attacks are Blizzard and Leaf Storm, so if it chooses to use its Grass move, it will be lowering its special attack stat. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a Blizzard plus Hyper Voice in this situation. Alright, we do see a Protect from Cupid, the Excadrill, alright. And also, this is going to block the ability to set up the Aurora Veil. Sand is going to come out. Hyper Voice is going to come out. Tyranitar can eat another one of those. It actually gets really fortunate and dodges the Leaf Storm. And now we do see an interesting situation where Tyranitar is kind of this team's best answer into removing the Farigiraf. But the question is, how is it going to get to that situation? Do you choose to switch Tyranitar out here? Do you keep it in? There are a lot of questions. Trick Room has about 2 more turns going. I think a combination of Blizzard plus Hyper Voice would just pick up both Pokemon if they both connect. Instead, Nathan's saying, you know what, if I just remove my Abomasnow, I can come back with it later. Scrafty's going to come in. That's a Pokemon that neither of these Pokemon want to see. Tyranitar is going to click Protect here, saying, you know what, I don't want to risk going down just yet. I'm important in getting the board state in my favor later. Alright, we're going to see a Hyper Voice come out from Primarina. Excadrill is not a Rock type, so it does not get that special defense boost that Rock types get inside a Sandstorm. It is going to survive, and it's going to throw out a big Iron Head into Scrafty, who did just intimidate it, so it's not going to take much damage in return. Scrafty's going to take a little bit of chip. Primarina's going to take a little bit of chip. And now, I imagine we're probably going to see Scrafty Mega Evolve and release another set of Intimidates onto both these Pokemon. Dark Forest, I know, but I prioritize Protect over any move when I'm using Perish, but most of the times I'm clicking an attacking move. Again, I don't think if you're using a Scarfmon, you should be really clicking Protect. Like, there are going to be board states where that is the best move to do, especially on a Perish team. But, like, generally your Scarfmons are supposed to be either controlling the board state with things like Icy Wind or, like, Electro Web, or just taking big KOs immediately. Alright, so we do see Scrafty is going to Mega Evolve in this situation. That's going to take Excadrill down to it's going to take his attack stat down another stat, which is going to bring it down to -2. So this Excadrill is on the board, but, like, what is he doing, though? What's the mole doing? Drain Punch into Rotom does a lot of damage. Scrafty is not just sitting here, he is a Mega Pokemon. And then we're going to see a Hyper Voice follow-up from Primarina. Rotom is going to eat its Citrus Berry. If it has not already, I don't think it has. Okay, there it goes. And honestly, it looks like after the Sand Chip, another Drain Punch will probably just do it. I think that Paris's best way back into this game is through potentially a Will-O-Wisp on Scrafty, but also potentially like Iron Head flinches, because we know Thunderbolt would pick up Primarina from this range. But there's also an Abomasnow and a Farigiraf it can switch into. I have to imagine we might even just see Abomasnow switch in right now. Yep, here he comes. Primarina switches out, Abomasnow switches right back in, saying, you know what, you have a -2 Excadrill and a Rotom Wash. I'm really not worried here. Alright, we see an Earthquake come out. It is going to be it's an immune. You guys are okay. Rotom is immune. We do see a Will-O-Wisp come out into Scrafty. It's going to eat that. Its attack stat has now been cut in half. The idea is like, hey, let's slow this Pokemon down. Drain Punch into the 1 health Excadrill. That's going to be enough. That is going to pick up. The question is, though... Let me see. Alright, Scrafty is burned, but I still think even burned, Drain Punch is probably going to do the majority, if not all, of Tyranitar's health. I think Tyranitar here kind of has to use Rock Slide and navigate flinches. Alright, Farigiraf switches in. Alright, Hydro Pump does not connect into Scrafty because they go for a Protect. We see Sandstorm chip into all of the Pokemon. Hey, beautiful. Alright, I still think that the best way for Paris to get back into this game is to keep throwing more and more rocks at the opponent and hope everything goes their way. Honestly, Scrafty is kind of just chilling here. I think throwing Rock Slide and Thunderbolt into Scrafty is your best play. You can try and remove Farigiraf with Rotom to ensure that they don't get back into Trick Room, but there's no way Paris navigates this without, without Rock Slide flinches, but hey, if you're just willing to switch out your pieces, maybe you do just double into Pokemon. Alright, Rock Slide does come out. It connects into both Pokemon. Farigiraf does survive. Maybe I should eat my words there, because if this Farigiraf gets up Trick Room, it's going to be very, very difficult for Paris to come back in this one. Abomasnow does survive with 15% health. They do flinch, see? Hey, that's how you get back into these things. Alright. Honestly, another Rock Slide is just going to remove both Pokemon. Unfortunately, this Rotom doesn't have any way to set up, so... so it's just gonna... it's just gonna be this Tyranitar carrying a lot of weight on its back. I think you can potentially knock off into Farigiraf, but there's also a chance that you miss. Since it's a double miss, or since it's not a double miss, it should be fine. Rock Flinchies. Yeah, Rock Flinchies are the way to go. I love the just hovering hailing. Alright, Thunderbolt is gonna be enough to pick up. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna see this. This game is gonna come down to a 2v2 situation. Tyranitar is gonna be intimidated, but Scrafty is burned. Do all of these Pokemon have the ability to click Protect is the question. Alright. Rotom and Tyranitar can both click Protect. Can Scrafty or Primarina set up? Primarina does have Life Dew, so there is a reason that these Pokemon might choose to not Protect in this situation, so we'll have to see what the players choose to do. Alright, we do see a Protect. What does Rotom do? Rotom also protects. I think we're going to see Fake Out into... I guess it was Rotom. Plus, is it Hyper Voice or is... Okay, it's Moonblast. Never mind. I was going to say, on the off chance that they just thought that they could get away with it, they could have clicked Life Dew, and I think that might have swung the game in their favor. Both Pokemon just say, hey, protecting is too important for us not to do here. Scrafty is at 45% health. Primarina is at 32. I think a Hydro Pump might pick up Scrafty from this range. We see Primarina chooses to protect, saying, hey, I don't want to get Thunderbolted. We see a low kick come out into Scrafty. It's not enough. After the Intimidate, Scrafty's at 18% health. We see a Thunderbolt into Primarina. This Drain Punch, if it connects onto Tyranitar, is probably going to remove it. It's a knockoff into the washing machine instead. It survives. Scrafty at 12%. Everyone is on death's door here. They're holding on. I honestly think, though, that Paris might have found their way back into this game. They did get the Rock Slide flinch they needed. Thunderbolt into Primarina plus Low Kick into Scrafty should just be enough to wrap it up. And as long as these Pokemon are trained in the way I think they're trained, the speed stat should go Tyranitar, then Rotom, then Primarina and Scrafty. Alright, now it's just Mega Scrafty versus the world. That burn was so unfortunate. But hey, that's why they run it, and that's the end of Game 1. Well played to both players. Wow, he just Giga Whiffed so hard by not Drain Punching the Tyranitar. It's a hard call to make. Sometimes people will be like, hey, they might go for a double protect. There's always logic in what's going on, you know, like, or most of the time there's logic in what people are doing. Also, sometimes you get a feeling in your gut. We have to find our pairing and make sure that they are good. Alright, cool. Honestly, I think both players played it really well. I think that it is important to know that Drain Punch into Tyranitar might have been the difference maker there, but we can never be certain without seeing how it actually played out. Because, I mean, Tyranitar is a bulky Pokemon, so a Burn Scrafty might not be able to deliver a KO there. It is a Mega, though. It could go either way. It probably picks up. I honestly think Mega Scrafty is one of those Megas that's really, really underexplored. Being able to set double Intimidate is so good, especially because like the only Defiant Pokemon are King Gambit and Annihilate. When Annihilate's not seeing a lot of play, and King Gambit is like quad weak into Scrafty, so even if you give him a +2, Scrafty's gonna eat that guy up with a Drain Punch. Alright, so we see a switch up. Nathan's gonna start the game with Abomasnow plus Furgraf, and we're gonna see Corviknight plus Hydreigon. This is a Colberberry Furgraf, so it's looking pretty safe to just get Trick Room up here, but it's a bulk up Corviknight. As long as this Abomasnow doesn't go down, it's pretty safe to throw off big blizzards into both Pokemon. I do think that it's highly likely we see a Snarl plus bulk up from, or it's, I mean, maybe Snarl plus Brave Bird. But I think that we're likely to see Snarl this turn. Alright, Abomasnow just choosing to go for a Protect here, saying, hey, if Trick Room goes up, I can get my maximum effectiveness. Snarl does come out just like we anticipated. Furgraf is going to take a decent little bit of damage, but more importantly, its special attack will drop. What does this Corviknight choose to do here? Corviknight's going to go for a bulk up and say, hey, I'm here for a long time. I'm going to hang out. You can't stop me from doing what I'm going to do. And Trick Room's going to go up. Abomasnow has Blizzard, which is a really strong move, but Abomasnow's not known for being extremely offensive outside of its Mega form. So I think it's highly likely that Blizzard won't pick up either of these Pokemon, which will be really difficult for them to deal with afterwards. This Furgraf only has Thunderbolt and Psychic, which means this Hydreigon is really not threatened outside of the Blizzard from Abomasnow. Instead of seeing anything related to, I thought we might see Abomasnow go on the offensive. Instead, it's just going to choose to go for an Aurora Veil. We see a Thunderbolt come out into this this Corviknight. Honestly, the double up of Thunderbolt plus Blizzard might have been enough. Instead, we're going to see a massive Brave Bird, which is going to do a lot of chip damage to Cornelius here. And then a Snarl. Is it going to pick up? It's not going to pick up. It's going to bring these Pokemon down really, really low. Or sorry, this Abomasnow down really, really low. And this Furgraf's damage output is going to be not very threatening. Also, my mic is echoing a bit. Oh, let me see what's going on. There's been an issue where I have two mics for some reason. Alright, it should be good now. Alright, we're going to see a Helping Hand. Oh, thanks for the follow, Mayberry. Greatly appreciated. We're going to see a big Helping Hand Blizzard come out. If this came out a turn earlier, it might have been enough to deliver. Did the quality of his mic suddenly drop for anyone else? Fixed? Okay. I don't know why it would do that just randomly, but I guess it's picking up. Hydreigon's gonna get frozen, didn't even see that, sorry. Let me know if the mic is still being weird, we'll fix it up. Alright, Cornelius heals up with a big Roost, but honestly, another Blizzard plus Thunderbolt combo is probably gonna do a lot of damage, especially because to get damage off this Corviknight has to click moves like Brave Bird. Alright. Down goes Hydreigon. Thunderbolt follow-up into the Corviknight. Gonna bring it down to 31%. You fixed it, boss. Thanks. Glad to hear. Alright, Roost goes off. This Corviknight is, more importantly than surviving, like, they are navigating these Trick Room turns very effectively. And if a Pokemon like Tyranitar is in the back, it's going to be really difficult to deal with. Okay, here comes Excadrill, the Cloud Watcher. Honestly, this Corviknight is in a situation where it is quite scary. I also think it's really funny because Mirror Armor, if Scrafty chooses to Mega Evolve, it's going to bring itself down to -2, which is really, really difficult for the Nathan to navigate here. That's one of the downsides of Scrafty I haven't thought about just yet, but it is interesting, to say the least. Alright, we're going to see a Leaf Storm come out from Abomasnow saying, hey, I need to really deal with this Excadrill. It's not the best Pokemon for what I have in the bag. Followed up by a Psychic from Furgraf, just giving this Corviknight a free chance to roost up and heal up all of its damage. The snow stops, the Trick Room returns to normal. The question is, can Furgraf get up another Trick Room? Because I know Abomasnow is not looking like it's long for this world. Despite resisting Earthquake, I don't think it has what it takes to survive one here. An Earthquake plus Brave Bird follow-up into Rigraph will probably be enough to take out both of these Pokemon, and that'll change the board state from originally Nathan VGC having Trick Room up and a lot of damage under his control, to now Paris is looking like they have everything they need to just run away with this game. A bulked up Corviknight plus an Excadrill with what I'm assuming is sand in the back is going to be really difficult to deal with. We're going to see Primarina switch in here, and a Rock Slide from Excadrill. Paris saw how effective flinchies were last game, saying, hey, you know what? Let's just try and get more of them. Choosing to go for a bulk up instead. If this flinches, I was going to say, if there was a flinch this turn, it could be really, really bad. Instead of just saying, you know what? Corviknight's that Pokemon that can make it through this whole thing. Primarina is really scary to deal with, though, because it's going to launch off big hyper voices, which, thanks to its liquid voice ability, will be water type. I have to imagine it's not going to remove Corviknight or Excadrill from the battlefield, but it's going to do a lot of damage to both of them. Instead of seeing it go down, we're just going to see a Protect come out from this Excadrill right now. Really not wanting to deal with it, this Rigraph goes for Psychic, saying, hey, I need to break this Sash, and then a follow-up Hyper Voice. This Corviknight is at +2, so it's going to probably release a giant Brave Bird here. Here it comes. Is it going to be enough to remove either of these Pokemon? It goes to Rigraph. Rigraph does have a lot of HP, so it's probably going to do a lot of chip back into return, because Brave Bird does 1/3 damage back to its user. Thanks to the leftovers, it's going to heal up a little bit, but now I think you just kind of bring in Abomasnow and you're like, hey, Hyper Voice plus Blizzard, deal with it, right? Like, Trick Room got back up. I think that Paris really would have benefited from removing Rigraph on that turn instead of clicking Bulk Up twice, because now it's in this situation where it's like, you were in an advantage state and you kind of gave it up for another +1 to your defenses and attack, and I don't know if that gives you the momentum you need to take this game for yourself. We are going to see Tyranitar switch in, which is going to make it so Blizzard can miss, but the question is, will it? It does miss someone. It misses Tyranitar. It does not miss on the Corviknight, and it's going to take Corviknight down to 19% health, and then the follow-up Hyper Voice from Primarina is going to be enough to remove this Corviknight. Abomasnow can only take one more turn of Sand Chip, but it is under Trick Room, and it is quite a scary Pokemon to deal with. Also, we still have Excadrill here. The question, though, is if that final Pokemon is Scrafty, I don't see a world in which Tyranitar and Excadrill can bring this game home. Alright, let's see what they choose to do. Tyranitar goes for a Protect, saying, hey, if we just wait one more turn, Abomasnow will tick itself out. They both go for Protect. Abomasnow goes for a Leaf Storm. Does not connect onto the Tyranitar because of the Protect. Another Hyper Voice. Does not connect. Oh, it's Michael rated with 30 viewers. Thank you so much. We're in the middle of casting a tournament right now. This is a Mega Scrafty plus Abomasnow team. Thank you so much for the raid, Mike. Greatly appreciated. Hey everyone, how's it doing? Thanks for the follow. Oh gosh, you guys are too kind. Many follows. This is awesome. Alright, Scrafty comes in. These Pokemon are really going to be hurting now because Scrafty has Intimidate before it Megas and after it Megas. They're about to be put through the Scrafty blender. They have Fake Out Online, which they can't deal with because they just protected. Like, I don't think that the combo of Primarina and Scrafty can be stopped here. I can't even say thank you because you guys are just following too quickly. Thank you to everybody. Also, it's Mike. I'm going to give you a shout out. Let me go on the old Twitch real quick. Might take some commentary tips. Let me lock in. Or lock in for sure. Let's see. We've been doing tournaments every single Monday on Twitch, so... and YouTube. Let's see. Yeah. 20. You're 22-2? I was going to say, that's impressive, because we don't even have 22 games. Alright, Hyper Voice comes out. Tyranitar does land the double Protect, which is going to be really important, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough, because they're now at -2. Outside of Rock Slide flinches, this game is looking locked up to me. Scrafty and his little hood are going to be too difficult to deal with. Alright, shooting a follow to Mike. Shout out. I don't know how to do that. I'm new on Twitch. Let's see. Can't do it right now, so I'm gonna focus on this battle, and we'll look into it after. All right, how far is the tournament so far? This is round 4 out of 5, so there's gonna be another set after this. If anyone that's joining the stream now wants to ever join, I'm gonna drop the Discord in the chat. Oh, it's with shout out. Thank you, Bacon. Shout out. Let me see. Boom. It says the channel I was shouting out doesn't exist. That can't be right. It's Mike. Oh, I did. It's Mike, not it's Michael. 167. All right, cool. Cool. We gave you the shout out. All right. I think they. Oh, okay. Chill won the first game. Nathan won the second one. I thought that was the end of the set, but we're going to a game 3. I'm like, yeah, I do commentary, and I'm like, I think this game's over. Okay. Let's lock back in. Uh-oh, ads. I'm sorry about the ads. Let's see. Okay, so basically Scrafty's really in this situation where it's super strong into this whole entire team with the exception of this Corviknight. Because Corviknight kind of ruined Scrafty's whole day. We saw last time Paris kind of let the game slip away from themselves because they clicked bulk up on Corviknight on a turn where they probably could have removed Furgraph and stopped the second Trick Room from going up. Also, Paris did win game 1 by getting a Rock Slide flinch, which is like really impactful, and they did capitalize on it after that. But as long as Nathan can work around this Corviknight and get Scrafty in, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to deal with Tyranitar and Excadrill won't be able to deal with Scrafty. It's just going to Drain Punch them until the cows come home. Alright, so we see the same leads as last game. I feel like Paris might have a different game plan than last time, or just be like, hey, I would have won if I just played it a little differently. So we're going to have to see how they adapt. I also really wouldn't be surprised to see a Helping Hand Blizzard turn 1, because last time that was really the big thing. How the heck, what does it say? How the heck did I get 4-0? How the heck did I just beat Crocodile to now be at 4-0? Shiny Macaroni, this is your tournament. You're locked in, man. Alright, we see Blizzard come out from Abomasnow saying, hey, I'm not going to play it slow this time. I'm just rocking right off the get-go. And this is Haley. This is Haley, baby. She's our stream dog. Would have won my last set if my opponent missed literally a single Sleep Powder, but it happens. Yeah, that's Sleep Powder Gaming. Alright, so now I think that since it did 50% last turn, there's a high chance that Blizzard just picks up, so I think it's likely we see Blizzard come out from Abomasnow plus Thunderbolt into Corviknight, because last time they needed a Brave Bird to bring Abomasnow really down low. Okay, I mean, I do like the switch up here. Here comes Tyranitar. The only thing, though, is that this, unless we see a switch out or a miss, which we do see, a double miss? Okay, this Abomasnow needs some glasses. It cannot connect its moves here. It's on me for putting myself in a situation to have to bank on a 9% chance to win. It does happen. Hey, Parker, long time no see. It's good to see you, Star. Thanks for joining, Starheart. It is good to see everybody. Also, thanks so much for all the love and the follows today, everybody. You guys rock. Let's see. Okay, so now we're in a bit of a compromised position because Abomasnow does not have its readers on. It did not connect Blizzard on either Pokemon, and I think that the board state just went from good to really bad to Nathan really, really quickly. Abomasnow says, I gotta get the heck out of here. This is an opportunity for me to bring in Scrafty, though, and Intimidate's gonna do a lot of work for me here. And also, if you fire off a Dark move into me, it's not gonna matter one bit. Instead, we see Cornelius the Corviknight come right back in. A Thunderbolt fired off into this Tyranitar. Not going to do much damage, but it is going to paralyze it, which is actually going to change the game in a weird way, where I imagine that this Tyranitar is now going to be slower than a lot of Pokemon under Trick Room. Alright, it lands a knockoff into Scrafty, and it does a whole heaping, like, after sand damage, like 9%. Like, that was nothing. -1, quad resisted. Scrafty gets in here, gets in front of Corviknight and says, hey, I didn't get intimidated. If I Mega, I'll get intimidated again, but like, at least for now, I'm good. I've been working hard on my Ghost-only team, and so far I came up with 3 separate teams. That's cool. I'd love to see them. Alright. So now the question is like, what does Scrafty choose to do here? I think, like, a Drain Punch almost certainly picks up Tyranitar from here, but the question is, do you want your Scrafty taking a Brave Bird for no reason? And I think the answer to that is probably no. I think it's likely we see either a Protect or a Switch out from Tyranitar. Instead, we're going to see Primarina come in. Okay, we do see a Protect. Scrafty can probably pretty freely click Fake Out into Corviknight this turn, and it does. It says, hey, I don't want to, I want to keep my attack up in case I need to attack this Tyranitar next turn, but I don't want to have to risk going for anything right now. I'm not committing to big damage, I just want to play things a little slow right now. I believe this is our final turn of Trick Room, which means we're probably going to get to see a big Hyper Voice come out from this Primarina. I don't think this Corviknight has Protect on it. Okay, we are going to see a switch out. Ion the Sleepy comes in. It is a Rotom Watch. There is a switch up. There is no Excadrill this time. We see Scrafty switch out, and back comes in for Farigiraf. Alright, let's see. We see Hyper Voice come out. It's going to do almost nothing to this Rotom, but it does a decent amount of damage to this Corviknight. Corviknight's going to roost it up, and honestly, just like that, Paris navigates their way through the Trick Room. So you're doing a tournament? Yeah, right now we're in the middle of a tournament. This is our 4th set overall. We have 1 more set till it's over. 1 is a Trick Room Trap, the 2nd is a Dork team, and the last one is Annihilate Powerhouse team. Love me some Annihilate. Alright, so now we see Rotom and Corviknight staring down Primarina and Farigiraf. Nathan says, I need to get up Trick Room just one last time, and I think Farigiraf can take it. Okay. Instead of going for an attack into Farigiraf, they say, hey, let's just go for Bulk Up and Thunderbolt. You can't remove my Corviknight, and you can't remove my Rotom. You can get your Trick Room up. These Pokemon are just too strong, you're not going to be able to deal with them. If this Rotom gets rid of this Primarina, it's going to be a really, really tough time for Nathan to get rid of that Hydreigon in the end game. Scrafty can do it, but really what's being the bane of Nathan's existence right now is this Corviknight. It's just so difficult to get rid of it. So right now what they've done is they said, hey, I'm just going for a Helping Hand Hyper Voice. I just need to stick a lot of damage right now. Going for a Moonblast actually into Rotom, saying, hey, I think your Corviknight might just click Roost or something. I don't think it's going for damage right away. But that's not the case. It says, hey, here's a +1 Brave Bird. Not enough to pick up, but enough to bring Primarina down to 13%. Primarina eats that Citrus Berry, and just like that, we're going to see Corviknight is kind of in this situation again where it chose to bulk up instead of trying to get rid of the Trick Room setter. Alright, Tyranitar comes back in, and now we got a little bit of a mind game at play, where this might be the whole reason that Paris let the Trick Room go back up again. The big change up from last game is that this Tyranitar is paralyzed, and since its speed is cut in half, it might actually underspeed all of these Pokemon. Slow Tyranitar is a big threat here. What does Nathan choose to do in front of it? I think that if you can get rid of this Corviknight, the game is almost always going to go in your favor, but how do you get to that situation? A Helping Hand Hyper Voice might just be enough to pick up both of these Pokemon. Also notably, this Tyranitar choosing to Mega is actually going to raise its speed just a little bit, so we'll have to see if it still is going to underspeed Primarina or Farigiraf. Just goes for a Protect, saying, hey, you know what, I want the extra stats. I actually don't love that play because the nice thing about Tyranitar's Mega is in the event that Abomasnow comes back in, you can choose to Mega again and get your stats right back up. Your sand right back up. Thunderbolt flies off into Corviknight. It's going to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, it's not going to get the pickup that Nathan's looking for. Sand Chip into both Pokemon is going to bring them down a bit lower. Honestly, this Corviknight kind of needs to roost off its damage right now. I think a Thunderbolt or Hyper Voice is going to be enough to pick up. T-Tar, even in Mega, did Protect before Prim. Good to know. That is good. And thank you, Izzy, for pointing that out. We do get to see that Tyranitar is going to be the slowest Pokemon. It goes for a Rock Slide, which could get flinches, but unfortunately it's going to be a double miss on both of these Pokemon. Tyranitar is not going to add any value this turn. Thunderbolt is going to remove this Corviknight, which is going to make it so that this Hyper Voice from Primarina or Moonblast is going to be single target, which is going to do more damage. Tyranitar goes down to 12% with only one Pokemon left, and that Pokemon being Hydreigon. That's looking quite rough for Paris to bring this game back, especially because this Hydreigon can't protect, and I think that we still have at least a turn of Trick Room left, which means that the combination of Thunderbolt plus Moonblast will probably just be enough to end this game. Yeah, the double miss is quite tragic, but honestly, I think that the game after losing Corviknight was already over. I think that it was already game, because this Scrafty, now that Corviknight is gone, is just the Pokemon to beat. We see Abomasnow come in and says, hey, let's remove the weather. Primarina goes for another Protect, saying, hey, I don't want to deal with you right now. Mimikyu's Sand is sick. Had that thought this morning. It is cool. Alright, Abomasnow goes down to 2% health. What does this Hydreigon choose to do? Goes for Dragon Pulse, an interesting move, especially because it cannot ever target this Primarina. The order in which the Pokemon are protected also lets you know their speeds, right? Yep, that's exactly why Izzy pointed it out. Scrafty loved that guy. Well, I'm glad you love Scrafty, because I think he's the guy that's going to finish this out. He couldn't Mega before, but things have changed. Hydrate, I'm going to Hydrate, because, man, I'm thirsty. Scrafty will have to eat a Dragon Pulse for its troubles, but Tyranitar's paralyzed is slower than everything. I was going to check to see how many turns the Trick Room were up, if there are any. Scrafty chooses the Mega here. Tyranitar's attack stat goes down yet again. He is paralyzed. He is at -2. Slower than everything. Moonblast comes out. Bye-bye, Tyranitar. And with just Dragon Pulse available, Paris can never win because they can never connect with Primarina. Even if they take out every other Pokemon, this game is over. Congratulations to Nathan. They both played it really well. Yep, GG's. I didn't know that. It's good to know for the future. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's why we do these things, so people can learn. So I'm glad we could help you to get one step better. Honestly, well played to both players. That was a fun tournament. I can't tell if it's a bad tournament performance or if I should lose faith in my team. I think that one tournament shouldn't be enough. I think that you should play some more, play some on the ladder, see if it ends up changing anything. And since we went to game 3 and it was a long set, that's actually the end of our round 4. We're going to go straight into round number 5. Let me get this up. Round 5 is up. Boom. Alright, cool. I'm going to have it so we're going to watch Braz BR versus Chance for our final game. I would say Shiny Macaroni and Dr. Fiso because they're our number 1 seeds, but we've watched Shiny Macaroni 3 times based on the number generator. Pokemon is a game where luck is a big factor, and I think Shiny Macaroni might be feeling it tonight. They might be having a lot of luck, so we're gonna see if they end up taking it all. But we're gonna watch another set that is also 2 players that are actually only 1 player is 4-0. The other person is 3-1. So we'll have to see. But potentially Braz BR could win our whole tournament here. It's gonna come down to resistance. So, oh sorry, I punched in the code in the wrong place. Let's see. All right, 29665180. We got lucky. Macaroni for dinner. Nice. Let's see. Thank you for casting my match. Oh, of course. It's been fun. If your match ever gets casted, I highly recommend you go back and watch it later, because watching a match live, or sorry, playing a match live versus watching a match and having someone talk about it, it's night and day how many things you pick up that you wouldn't have seen normally. Like, you also like get to hear how someone else would attack different problems, so it's just a great chance to grow. So I'm glad that you were able to have a match casted, and I'm glad you were able to join our tournament. It was a fun set to watch for sure. Let's see. Let's see. we're gonna spectate this match when it goes live. Oof. Give a link to... Parker gets in the casting zone and gives good insights. I try. Sometimes I get lost in it a little bit. Okay, so let me pull up the teams really quick. Braz BR is running the Whimsicott Kingambit Charizard team with Eternal Flower Floette. It's an offensive Floette. It doesn't have like the Calm Mind setup mode. It's just kind of a... It's not Hydrogen Bomb, it's not Laughing Baby, it's Hydrogen Baby. It's just gonna explode things and it's gonna go down if it gets tapped. I mean, I guess it could be bulky. This is a modest one, so it's going for maximum danger. Or maximum damage. It's a Life Orb Garchomp. It's got Dragon Claw, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Protect. Basculegion is the Mystic Water adaptability set, so it's just doing big damage. And then Charizard is more of a standard Charizard team. On the other side of things, we have a Mega Swampert team plus a Mega Heracross. And this has also got Trick Room, but no like fake out Pokemon. So I guess the idea here is like I either go for Tailwind with our Tail Room Swampert stuff, or I go Trick Room Protect, or sorry, Trick Room Heracross stuff. Sorry, I have like the hiccups today. A See a Bug? I don't know what a See a Bug is. Oh, you see a bug. Yes, and that bug is Heracross. And this Heracross, in case you're not familiar, has Skill Link. So all of its attacks will hit multiple times if they connect. This one's got Pin Missile, Close Combat, and Rock Blast. So notably, it can't really hit Basculegion very well. But if it connects with this Whimsicott, I have to imagine it's just going to pick up. We see Heracross go for a Protect here. And we see a Moonblast, and I'm going to have to assume a Wave Crash into Paragraph. You just eat ice cream and pie. Living your best life. You can lose 7 points of that. Unfortunately, Burgraph does go down to the double up, and this game is looking very like in one turn it swung in a big way towards Pie Brass. Basically, since Heracross went for Protect here, the idea was like, hey, I'm gonna get under Trick Room and I'm gonna be really healthy afterwards. But since Burgraph went down, this Heracross is now susceptible to being Encored, which means it's going to be locked into Protect, and it's not going to be able to do any damage. Mega Heracross is so fun to play. I agree, he's like a really cool Pokemon. Notably though, now that we see Kingambit is the other Pokemon, like yeah, we can lock Heracross out of doing damage, but we can also just Sucker Punch this Basculegion and say, hey, you can't do damage either outside of Aqua Jet. But Heracross needs so much help to get going. Yeah, without Triggerap, it's looking like kind of a difficult spot to navigate. Alright, we see Garchomp is going to come in. I have to... Oh, it's just going to be Moonblast, so Heracross is going to be able to potentially attack. Heracross is going to take some damage for its troubles, but it's going to be... They're just going to completely ignore the Basculegion and call out that, hey, I don't think you're actually going to stay in. Chance takes a chance and says, hey, I'm just going to swing big here. Pin Missile comes out into Garchomp. It is not a contact move. Can this Pokemon that does not show up very frequently... It does not. I was going to say, can it remove Garchomp? And the answer is no. But look at, both Pokemon are really low. And depending on who Chance's last Pokemon is, there is a real chance that they can just bring this game home. Basculegion doesn't want to see that Kingambit. I have to imagine that Braz's final Pokemon is probably Charizard. Call me crazy, but it might be a good idea to just Protect again with Heracross here. If they can call when Charizard comes in and fire off a Rock Blast, it could be a really, really big deal. The final Pokemon is going to be Pelipper. Rain's going to go up. Not going to be too impactful just yet. We're actually going to see a Protect come out from Garchomp, and an Encore come out from Whimsicott. The question is, what does Kingambit choose to do here? It's a Sucker Punch. The Sucker Punch, the idea there is, hey, I can keep this Garchomp in check, and also this Whimsicott, so they can't do damage, but it doesn't. No one ends up doing any damage. Pelipper just gets in for free this turn. Okay, shout out Chance's Fit. Creative way to use the Canary jacket with other clothing. I mean, yeah, they're looking good. Alright, I think this is going to be a Tailwind handshake. The idea is like, hey, if both players click Tailwind... Oh, never mind. We're just going to see a Dragon Claw come out into the Pelipper. Dragon Claw is actually going to remove Garchomp from play because they're going to take the Life Orb chip. Let's see what Pelipper chooses to do here. Pelipper, okay, actually interesting. The King Gambit's actually going to outspeed the Pelipper. It's something you don't see very often. Kowtow Cleave, and then we see a U-turn from Pelipper. Unfortunately, because King Gambit went down, it's actually going to be on the field still. I do like this U-turn Pelipper because it makes it so that the Charizard can't very freely set up the sun. But now, it's looking quite rough for Chance because their Pelipper is out on the field. Rain is up. They're not going to have an easy time getting it back in and out without the sun going back, while the sun is down. I can't talk. Basically, Pelipper wants to make it so that the rain comes out when it arrives on the battlefield. And since Pelipper is on the field right now, Charizard is going to be able to Mega Evolve, set the sun, and make it difficult for Chance to navigate this battle. With both of its Chance's offensive pieces being King Gambit and Heracross, who just hate the sun, I think it's going to be difficult for Chance to navigate this endgame here. We see a Sucker Punch come out. It's into the Charizard. It just gets a good amount of damage. Weather Ball into King Gambit. I think that's bye-bye to King Gambit. Yep, bye-bye King Gambit. Basculegion looking much, much more threatening now. I think that Chance is going for a U-turn here. They are going to get the weather back. Oh, never mind. It's just going to be Tailwind. Actually, you know what? Could we see Heracross deliver? Tailwind Heracross doesn't outspeed Charizard. Here comes the bug. The bug that I honestly never believed in. We'll have to see if it actually has what it takes to beat this team. Actually, they both have Tailwind up, so they're going to have to, at very best, get a double protect on Chance's side. But then, even then, it's not going to be enough because Charizard and Basculegion will just be able to protect. All right, we see Weather Ball come out into Heracross. I think that's one bug that's been... I was gonna say bug zap, but that's fire. That bug's cooked, roasted, toasted, and gone. And then Basculegion is gonna say its last respects to Pelipper, and that's gonna be the end. Just tuned in back in to see Mega Heracross. Shout out to PokePals. Yeah, you can only see the really weird guys here. We got the funny mons. And guess what? This is in a set of a 4-0 player versus a 3-1 player. So it's not like Mega Heracross has been like terrible. He's putting in the work. He's doing his job. I do have to give a shout out to Chance though. Like, they were making calls that were really hard to make. Like, staying in front of Whimsicott saying like, I know you can Encore me, but I don't think you're gonna do it. The thing is with Pokemon that are not, I don't want to say they're bad because they're not bad. They're not used as much. This is what we talked about a little bit earlier for people that have jumped in. There are Pokemon like Charizard, which just blow up the battlefield and they like have immense control. They're like, hey, I'm such a strong Pokemon, you the opponent have to deal with me. Heracross is a Pokemon where Chance has to make it so that Heracross does the work for them. Really strong Pokemon carry your team for you. Pokemon that are less impactful, you have to do the work to make them good. So it's not like Heracross can't be good, it's just like, we've seen so many games where Charizard gets a Tailwind up and just clicks Heat Wave, game over. Heracross does not have that luxury. In fact, turn 1 we were like, oh, I think this game's over, but then Chance played to their out and almost brought it back. Alright, we see a change up in a big way. We see Pelipper and Swampert versus Eternal Flower Floette and Whimsicott. So this is a big change. Honestly, right now, this Swampert is looking like it probably wants to Mega Evolve. I just want to check to make sure this Whimsicott does not have a Grass move. Let me see. Chance is up against Grass BR. This is a Moonblast Tailwind Encore Whimsicott. So, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Whimsicott click Tailwind, and then even with the Swift Swim ability, which is doubling Swampert's speed, I still think Floette will outspeed and then probably throw a Light of Ruin right at this Swampert and probably blow it off of the face of this earth. We'll have to see how things play out. Light of Ruin does miss. Let's see what each player chooses to do here. Alright, Swampert is going to choose the Mega Evolve. Big Buff Fish is here. Can it take the light of this little baby flower? The light from this baby's flower. I don't know. Alright, Tailwind comes out. It's just a Dazzling Gleam. It's not going to be enough to take out either Pokemon, but it is going to be a lot of damage into both. What website were you getting the codes to separate form? To separate... I don't understand what you're saying. What website were you getting the codes to separate form? I don't understand what that question is. Okay, we see a Hurricane and a Wave Crash. Instead of opting for the Light of Ruin, just doing a bit of damage into both, instead what they're going to have to deal with is like losing one Pokemon entirely and bringing your Whimsicott down to just 1% health and Confusion. So even though they survived thanks to the Focus Sash item, they are going to have to risk it if they choose to attack next turn. The question is, who did they choose to bring in the back? If the next Pokemon is Charizard, we might be seeing the same situation we've been talking about, where it's like, hey, how do you deal with Charizard? I think the Drifters broadcast, if you're talking about team codes, or are you talking about when I was like comparing Pokemon? When I was comparing Pokemon, that was on Showdown. Also, Basculegion's a great bring here because it's got the rain in its favor. It's Mystic Water. It's going to do big damage, and Aqua Jet alone will be enough to pick up this Swampert. But even if you choose not to and you go for like a Wave Crash into Pelipper, Whimsicott KOs itself in Confusion. But if you go for a Wave Crash into Pelipper, I think that might just pick up. We see Last Respects come out. Whimsicott KOs itself and makes it so that Pelipper will go down this Last Respects. Originally, I don't think it would have, but thanks to that, it's down. Alright, it's the final Pokemon Charizard. It's Garchomp, okay. Garchomp versus the Queen. Alright, the question here, though, is what spectator mode room codes? Oh, that's on the Limitless website. I can only see those, as the judge. Like, you can't just pop into any single person's game. Alright. We see Rotom come out. That's a great great Pokemon to have here. It's gonna make it so that it's going to be immune to this Garchomp's Earthquakes if they choose to use them. Alright, Garchomp is going to take a Sucker Punch for its troubles. It's going to fire off an Earthquake. It is a Life Orb Earthquake. The question is, will it pick up Kingambit from here? And the answer is no. Kingambit survives with 6% health. Notably, though, if Kingambit tries to... Honestly, an Aqua Jet will be enough to just pick up this Kingambit. And also, if they choose to Aqua Jet into Rotom, with the rain up, I think it might just pick up. There are a lot of weird things at play here. There's only one turn of Tailwind left, but there are 2 turns of rain. We see Kingambit choose to go for a Protect. Is that how much the oven cost? It must be. Honestly, pretty cheap for an oven, just $100-something. Alright, Rock Slide comes out. That's going to be super effective damage into Rotom, but I don't think it'll be enough to pick up. Alright, the question is, does Rotom flinch here? Life Orb chips away at this Garchomp. Rotom gets a Will-O-Wisp off. Garchomp is now on even more of a timer. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just choose to go for a electric move into this Basculegion, but you know what? The beggars can't be choosers. You just got to deal with what you got to deal with. Great deal for real. Alright, Tailwind runs out. Rain is still active. I think the idea here is like, hey, if I burn this Garchomp, it can't remove my Rotom anymore. But the thing is like, I don't know how Chance gets through this endgame, because, like, you can't Sucker Punch Basculegion, because it's just going to be going for Aqua Jets, right? You can Sucker Punch Garchomp, but if you Sucker Punch Garchomp, you're going to go down to Rough Skin. It just, like, if you Sucker Punch Basculegion and go for Thunderbolt, you're basically, your Rotom has to be able to survive an Aqua Jet. And I don't know that it can, because its adaptability with Rain, with Mystic Water, there's so many multipliers at play here. Yeah, especially being at half, that's just not enough. Alright. What does Kingambit go for? It goes for Sucker Punch. Unfortunately, Sucker Punch only works if you outspeed your opponent with priority. Dragon Claw, even though it's burned, it's gonna still be enough. And now, it's really gonna come down to, I guess it's just gonna come down to who's faster, Basculegion or Swampert. And there's gonna be no rain. Swampert is a Pokemon that naturally has a higher speed stat than Basculegion, but we can check how these natures are set up. This is an Adamant Basculegion. And this is a Jolly Swampert, so there is a chance. Also, the Swampert has 100% health. Or sorry, this Basculegion has 100% health. I think that the Swampert player played well, but I don't think Swampert's got enough juice in the tank to win this one. I think the way through this is you have to, first of all, land a double protect, because you can't deal with taking a Garchomp hit there. I think you need to double protect so it takes itself out to chip damage. Or sorry, to burn chip. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. Earthquake's not going to be enough. Last Respects will be the last respect for this. This last respect will be the last thing that this Swampert sees, and the game is over. Chance is going to be the winner, and Chance is going to win this game and make it so that they are 5-0 going into this the end of the tournament. Basically, Chance, or their name on this is BrazBR, is basically in contention to get first place now. Currently, we are going to pop into the other game of players that are currently 5-0. And we're going to see how their set is going. Because basically, it's either these two or Chance that gets first place, depending on resistance. And I will show you who the winner is after the tournament resolves itself. Alright, Jackaroni. Alright. Also, thanks so much for the follow, Maxuki690. Always appreciate the follows. I've been getting so much love on Twitch and YouTube. You guys have been awesome. Alright. Okay, this is a cool team. We got Glamora and Mamoswine. This is looking kind of similar to Wolf's NAIC team. Versus, this is a one Raichu versus the world. Oh, is it the end of the set? They were saying that the set is already over, I guess. Yeah. Oh, another follow. Thank you so much. You mean Pi, not Chance. Well, their name on Limitless is Chance. Sorry, Pi. Yeah, no, I read that wrong, I guess. I don't know what was going on there. Oh, well, that's the end. Tomas, or their name on this is Dr. Fiso. Just won that set, so it's either going to be Dr. Fiso or Pi, so we'll have to wait and see. We're going to pop in on our other set, which, hi, it's me, Maxuki. You played it really well. It was good to watch your set. We're going to pop in on one of our other sets that are unresolved. We're going to see Izzy versus Toby, or Sub-Toby. Let's see. We're going to check out as many games as we can before the thing ends. Let's see. 0102. 39. Before the round ends. Let's see. Hey, I'll take 4-1 on a team I literally made free to play and no Pokemon Home on my mobile account. Yeah, you were playing hot today, Macaroni. That's a great run. And you got featured a lot. Like, I don't think anyone's been featured that much before, where it's just like back to back to back to back like that. It really worked out for you in a good way. Okay. All right. Next up, we have got Kangaskhan and Torkoal versus Basculegion and Garchomp. It looks like Burgraph has already gone down. This is a Mega Kangaskhan. All right, let's see Wave Crash come out. It doesn't look like the sun is up, which is not a very favorable position to be if you are a Torkoal. Also, since Wave Crash went out first, I have to imagine that Trick Room is probably over. Tailwind ends. This is a 2v2 situation. It is not over. I guess it's really just going to depend on whose Basculegion is faster, probably. Because, like, a Last Respects plus an Aqua Jet is definitely going to be enough to clean this game up for either side of the battlefield. Yeah, thanks for watching and the advice. I will for sure look back on the videos and revise the team to possibly bring and play next week. Awesome. Always love to hear that. Rock Slide comes out first. It doesn't matter whose Basculegion's faster if you clinch the opponent, so we'll have to see. Alright. Rock Slide removes that Torkoal. Life Orb removes that Garchomp. Now it's going to come down to who's faster and who flinches. Also, thanks so much for the subscription. Greatly appreciated. Last Respects comes out, and it looks like Toby's Basculegion is going to be faster, at least this time, and that's going to be the end of the game. We're watching all of these sets just end. This tournament is wrapping up very quickly. Both players play that really well. You can tell it was a close game when it comes down to just, it's like a Western showdown of like who's gonna move first, you know, speed tie city. Also, for people that are not in the know, if the Basque Legions are trained the same way, if the Pokemon have the exact same speed stat, it's literally a coin flip. It's a 50-50. Alright, we're gonna pop into Lit Luke versus Alex P, also known as Ace. They look like they've only had one round played, so it's likely that that game's gonna go on a bit longer. Speed watching the round 5, basically. We're just like back to back to back. We're popping into all the round 5s. Alright, let's see. Okay, so again, we've got Torkoal, but this Torkoal's next to a Mega Aerodactyl. We can click Battle Info to check out the board state. Sun is up. Neither team has Tailwind. Honestly, I'd say the board state looks more favored to our trainer on the right, who is not Lit Luke. Basically, a dual Wing Beat's going to remove this Whimsicott off the face of the earth, and then you're going to have a Torkoal plus an Aerodactyl to deal with. I guess we do need to check what is Aerodactyl's attack stat at. It's not been intimidated yet, so it's doing maximum damage. You could always just click Rock Slide plus a Fire move from Torkoal. That's a perfectly respectable option too. Speed watch, yeah. Whimsicott flinches. Hey, with Rock Slide, there's always a chance you just get those big old flinchies. Alright, Throat Chop is going to do not too much damage. And we're going to see a Weather Ball follow-up. Whimsicott goes down. And now it's just an Incineroar versus both an Aerodactyl and a Torkoal. It's looking like our other opponent is going to take this game. And it's going to be going to a game 3. That's Alex P. Or, sorry. Yeah, no, it is Alex P. Alright. Speed watching the speed ties for round 5 is what I should have said with our Pokemeg. Alright, Rock Slide connects. That's going to be the end of the game. We are playing Regulation MA or MB. Sorry. The Mega Regulation has been the Rock Slide flinch meta. Like, basically Scarlet and Violet. We had Covert Cloak, so Rock Slide fell off the face of the earth. You didn't see it as frequently. And now it's like, oh yeah, I forgot Rock Slide was the best move in VGC. I played that horribly. Well, don't worry, Luke, because you get another game to show off your skills, and you've been playing great this tournament, so it happens. Who Rock Slide first win? Yeah, that's in a lot of games that's the case. Generally in Pokemon, who moved first generally wins. Like, being fast is arguably the most important stat. Like on Alex's team, you have Trick Room and Tailwind to make sure that you go fast, or you go slow enough that you go fast, you know? Alright. So Lit Luke is rocking a Delphox plus Hydreigon, sorry, not Hydreigon, Flow plus Grimmsnarl team. What am I talking about? Garchomp. I'm starting with the correct letter, and then I'm just like throwing it out the window. Like, I'm like, okay. Maybe it's just the end of the night. Also, I think I'm glitching. I don't know. You can be tanky, but that flinch is strong. Yeah, you can have all the defense in the world, but if you get flinched a million times, that's the game. My Hydreigon got this. So true. Alright, so we see Aerodactyl Venusaur lead from our trainer on the right, Alex P, versus the Fire lead from Lit Luke's side. They've got Incin plus Delphox. I think the idea with this lead is like, hey, I get to intimidate your Aerodactyl. I'm going to lower its speed stat, or sorry, lower its attack stat, and also, I'm not going to let your Delphox just set up on me. This is a nasty plot Delphox, but it's like, I'm assuming since this is a Sun team, it's a Sleep Powder Venusaur. It is, so it's like, yeah, you might have gotten a -1 on my attack stat, but it's like, I'm just going to shut you down completely with Sleep. Like, you can get a Fake Out off, but that's not going to be enough. Also, does this Aerodactyl have Wide Guard? It does not. It's actually no Protect Aerodactyl. So there is a world where they just click Fake Out into Aerodactyl, and they hope that Psychic is enough. I don't think it will be, but we will see. Also, it might be Sideshow. It is Dazzling Gleam. You don't see that too frequently on Delphox. So we see Delphox chooses to Mega Evolve as well. Alright, we see Fake Out. Fake Out comes out into Aerodactyl. Makes sense. It cannot protect itself. Followed up by a Heat Wave. Nasty Plot. Actually saying, you know what? I think you're going to miss this Sleep Powder. But realistically, I don't know if I love that play because, like, yeah, you can miss the Sleep Powder, but realistically, like, if Venusaur just clicks Sludge Bomb, I think then you're just in range of getting Rock Slided next turn anyway. Like, yeah, you can protect, but it's looking quite rough for you. It's like, what does Litluk choose to do now? Because their Delphox is, like, guaranteed to sleep. And the question is like, if it gets doubled up by the opponent, is it going to survive? And I think the answer is no. And since it can't protect, it's, like, guaranteed. I don't think there's even a good switch in. I don't think it was a bad play, like, per se, to go for the Nasty Plot, because, like, if you do get it off, you're going to be in such a commanding position. But it's also, like, it's a really hard turn to navigate. I could also see a world where faking out into the Venusaur and clicking Heat Wave could be a great play, because then you're going to get a Aerodactyl that's at -1, and hopefully a removed Venusaur. Instead, we're going to see Rock Slide doesn't connect onto Delphox, and if this Venusaur doesn't target into Delphox, it does go for a Sludge Bomb. That's going to say if the Venusaur doesn't go for Delphox, I could see this game swinging in a big way towards their favor, but instead, Rock Slide misses, Sludge Bomb connects, and now we see Incineroar unfortunately flinches. We've been talking about how this is the flinch meta. It continues to be so. Arrow and Pyro are the two new megas. Arrow and Pyro as the two megas is something I've never seen before. Yeah, it's a pretty cool team. It looks like a Sun Room team, like it's Sun plus Trick Room, but Aerodactyl adds like a Tail Room component to it too. Flinch, LOL. Yeah. Alright. We do have Sinestro for healing, so there is a world where this Delphox, since it is at +2, gets away with, also the Delphox actually outspeeds the Aerodactyl, which is pretty cool. We see another Rock Slide come out. Unfortunately, the Delphox does just sleep through it. Delphox, wake up, I need you. Follows up with another Sludge Bomb, and despite getting to +2, this Delphox is going to be removed from the game. Aerodactyl is going to take a parting shot for its troubles. It is going to go down. Question is, what Pokemon is Litluk going to choose to bring in here? Honestly, Delphox kind of fumbled there. Did dodge a good Rock Slide, but afterwards wasn't really doing much. Garchomp would have potentially been a great Pokemon to bring in on the Delphox position because they were trying to throw off Sludge Bombs and Rock Slides, and Garchomp's a Pokemon that, outside of getting poisoned, isn't going to care too much about that. Also, notably, we just saw the Aerodactyl undersped the Delphox, which is a big deal. On the team sheet, we do see that the Delphox is timid and the Aerodactyl is jolly. So it's just interesting, because you'd think that, oh, I guess the Delphox might have been going for Protect. That would make sense, too. Okay, Aerodactyl switches out, says, hey, I don't love being at -2, so I'm just going to say I'm not anymore. Also, Burgraph will block any potential fake outs, like that, thanks to its Armor Tail ability. Rock Slide's going to come out. We've seen a flinch on Luke's side. Can we see a flinch on Alex's side? Alright, we're gentlemensing. Everyone gets a little flinchy, you know. Also, we did see that since Garchomp outsped Venusaur, it's looking likely that if you were to just go for like a big Life Orb, Dragon Claw, or a Stomping Tantrum, it might be able to pick up from this range. If there is a Torkoal in the back, though, you can get Sun Up, and then you would outspeed everything with your Venusaur, and you can throw off more Sleep Powders. This Burgraph is Citrus Berry. It's at 75%. Depending on how this Incineroar is trained, it might be able to pick up Burgraph. Burgraph is a tanky Pokemon, but Incineroar has super effective damage at its disposal. Stomping Tantrum comes out, it is Life Orb, it is not super effective, it's just neutral, but it's going to be enough to pick up because this is most likely a Focus Sash Venusaur. Alright, Garchomp loses a little bit of health for its troubles. Flare Blitz comes out from Incineroar, it's not a super effective hit. It does about 35%, 40%. Burgraph's going to eat its berry, and it's going to get right back up to 60%, and it's going to actually throw out a Thunderbolt. I guess depending on... Oh, there's a Prera. That's not good. was going to say, depending on who this final Pokemon is, Garchomp might have enough gas in the tank to be the Pokemon to win this game. Alright, Aerodactyl comes right back out. Luke really doesn't want... I mean, it's a kind of a weird situation. Luke is kind of in a fine spot, but I think that they ideally would have wanted to bring in whoever this fourth Pokemon is. It's Sinestro. I was going to say, with a parting shot after Aerodactyl attacked, but they can't do that anymore because Aerodactyl, because they got Thunder Wave flinched. Actually, this Aerodactyl has Ice Fang, which is quite scary for this Garchomp. I was going to say Garchomp's going to be fine under this Aerodactyl, but that is not the case anymore. Alright, Garchomp heals all of its Life Orb chip back with Sinestra's healing. And now this Aerodactyl is kind of just hanging out. It's at 93%. I have to imagine it's probably just going to throw out another Ice Fang into this Sinestra, which is going to do decent damage, but probably not enough to pick it up. Maybe the follow-up from Fergraph will do it. Holy cow, that was way more than I expected. Tough Claws does enhance all physical moves, even though those moves might just be teeth. Alright, Ice Fang. This is a... What item is this on this Sinestra? It is a... Cassib Berry. Followed up by a Psychic. Is this enough to pick up? It lives on 1! That is going to be super impactful for the end of this game, because now it means that Garchomp has a chance to throw off another Rock Slide. We still don't know who the fourth Pokemon is on Alex's side of the field, but Garchomp is slowly but surely getting his way through this game. Alright, Rage Powder comes out. Alright, I do agree with that. Rock Slide, actually, I think it's a great play to make. It does miss on the Sinestra. The question is, will Garchomp be able to attack? Will it be flinched? Garchomp flinches. Do they double the Sinestra spot? Trick Room goes up. Oh my gosh. I think that now you just bring Sinestra back in, right? So that you can get some more healing on your Garchomp. Because if that final Pokemon is who I think it is, it's probably Torkoal. And Torkoal is probably going to be difficult for this Like, you probably need all the healing you can get, right? Let's see. Incineroar, how much health does Incineroar have remaining? I mean, it's gotten Thunderbolted. It's gotten really hurt for all its troubles. I think that if you can just intimidate this Aerodactyl, throw off a Rock Slide, heal up with Sinestra, I think that Garchomp can get you there. But the question is, does Fergraph throw out another Thunderbolt? Who's this guy? It's Torkoal. Oh, you know what? I think the plan here is to like, hey, maybe I can just reverse the Trick Room again. Or do enough damage. Oh, we just see a Rage Powder saying, hey, I don't want to risk it. I don't need to heal this guy. I just need to do the damage. Psychic comes out. There goes Sinestra. If Incineroar did come in there, they would have not taken any damage, just for the record. This VOD is a record of how bad the flinch wars were back in the day, in these days. True. Alright. Garchomp's down to 65%. Honestly, Torkoal with Helping Hand stuff could be enough to just pick up. Also, this is a paralyzed Incineroar, so, like, I don't think there's a world where it ever underspeeds Torkoal, but it almost certainly underspeeds Fergraph. I think there. Okay, hear me out. Can this Fergraph click Protect? I think Torkoal can click Protect. Torkoal can click Protect. Fergraph can't. I think that Weather Ball plus Psychic will just pick up Garchomp, so it's kind of a scary situation to be in. I think Weather Ball will pick up Incineroar. I don't know. It's looking quite rough. I think that there's a world where you can click Earthquake. I think that it might be wise for the Trick Room player to just click Protect, because I think if you can get Torkoal next to... actually, no, that's just going to do it. That's game. I think that Psychic will be enough. Critical hit on the Incineroar. It might not have mattered anyway. I think there's probably a range. Psychic. That's going to be enough. Well played to Alex. They just played it very, very well. Didn't have to risk speed. Didn't have to risk anything. It's just a solid end game. And that might be the end of our tournament. Let's check it out. Yep, Alex versus Luke is our final set, so I'm going to switch over to this view, and I'm going to show you who our winner of our tournament is. I will make an announcement in the Discord about who the winner is tomorrow and talk about how our metagame has been changing. So, let's see. Oopsie. Give you a little peek behind the curtain. It says one game's not resolved. That's this one. Wait, what? Alright. Okay. We're gonna give them that win. And we're gonna check out... Because Alex won that, right? That was... Let me make sure. Yeah. Torkoal blew everything up. Torkoal did Torkoal things. Alright, end the tournament. Tournament page, standings. Alright, the winner of our tournament was Dr. Fiso with this Mamoswine Charizard Glamora team with Mega Glamora. Pretty cool stuff. I'll talk about our top 8 another time, so I hope you guys all had a great time watching. I know I had a great time casting. I'll be back next Monday with more tournament stuff. I actually will be probably back before then. I'm going to be a festival lead for the Straw tournament, so you can check me out there for the Champions Festival Encore. So on that note, we're gonna do a raid. We're gonna check out someone that is playing Champions. I hope you guys are having a great night, and I'll talk to you all later. Thanks so much for the love, the follows, everything. Bye-bye. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Hey, big Mamo win. So true. I'm glad everyone had a good time.